If we got one.
We're already live, everybody.
Here? Yeah, we're live. I sneak live attacked you.
Bro, I'm just like looking at the YouTube. I'm like, oh, that's me. I could have said something.
Sneak live attacked
I could have
you.
said anything. You can't be doing that to me, bro.
Okay.
Didn't even GM the chat yet.
That's
there
what
we
happens. Nick's on the ones and twos. He's got
Yeah.
the power.
Are we
He has the
live?
power.
We're live. Nick is.
I'm so ready to headbutt somebody.
Oh, you're that
Yeah,
one
no,
today?
it's like a good, loving headbutt energy ready
Okay,
to go
we've
right
been,
now.
I think the Discord asked for some headbutt
headbutts.
energy.
Yeah.
All right.
No fucking around.
Did you guys hear that President Biden elected a new member of the National Economic Council?
No.
Yeah.
I thought you wanted to talk about his 59% taxes.
No. And actually, I think there's like a live video that we could go to right now.
A new cabinet member?
USA is in debt. Everybody's in debt. Why don't we just print more money? And hold on, because I've heard the whole inflation, it'll go up topic. Well, just don't. Just don't make it go up.
don't.
Just get the printers going. Let's print some more money. Like, what? Aren't we the ones printing money? Hold on. Let me really logically think about this. The trees make paper.
I love her mannerisms.
Paper is money. Okay, so we cut down more trees, snip, and we print some more money. The world would be a better place if I was president. No inflation, nothing goes up. We just print more money. We don't just give it away, but we print it and then we're not in debt anymore. Because aren't we like a lot in debt? I'm not stupid. I'm stupid. But, like, for real though. Should I like go tell the president? Like, hey, I know we were having some financial problems. No idea. Print some more money. Isn't it just like that simple? I feel like so many world problems are just like have really simple solutions. Like what other? I mean, I guess the printers they cost some money. Labor for whoever's
Trees.
printing the money. I mean, I'll print the money. And
She's
it's
talking
free
cogs,
money,
baby.
the ink. But other than that, I mean, hey, we got more money.
We got more money, boys. That's the 2024 campaign
It's the
speech.
best.
This economic platform.
I
Iconic.
can't tell the difference between that and like the right curve version. Like it's really the same thing.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
She's actually
this is
not
brilliant.
She's actually not wrong.
She's not wrong. She's
Trees
adorable.
and the paper.
I mean, the
ink
trees
part.
part, yeah. The trees part is fine. She took it a little too literally.
She has some insights about the dollar in there, though.
She probably saw the money printer go brr, and then just took that very literally.
If she like, I think this is one of those phenomenon where it's like because it's her saying it and she's using the wrong words, we think it's dumb. But if she said like, we're just gonna monetize the debt, then people would be like, oh yeah, well that's what
she's
we do.
I'm
genius.
telling you, it's the left curve version of that. I also think she's adorable, and I respect her willingness to go out on a platform and actually put
Agreed.
this
I
out
think
there.
we should match up her and
She
the
has to
UFC
be like-
guy, and he can help her with Von Mises, and she can introduce.
I wonder if this was like a
monetizing the debt.
school project. She looks like 15 years old. It's just all adorable.
Yes, Matt. The lights are new.
Oh, they noticed the lights.
Oh,
yeah,
you
you
just
like
made
God,
Steven's
Steven
day.
just got a chub.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, I was wondering if, yeah.
That's right.
He's so proud.
Look at that vibe
Matt,
now.
he's been working on that for the last 30 minutes. 30 minutes he's been placing those lights.
Wow. There's a 100% chance Nick knocks his light over at some point. So,
Prop bet.
if you
Yeah,
hear
Armand and
about
I
that,
have already been booted from having lights on behind us. We've already knocked it
Our
off.
shoulders are too big.
Rescinded.
Apparently, I'm not tall enough to knock mine over.
Our shoulders are way too big.
One day you'll knock yours
One
over.
day.
That's right.
One day, son.
Every week, a little bit better. Just a little bit better, usually.
That's
All right.
right. That's right.
Well, shall we get into it?
Let's get into it.
All right.
Into it.
Welcome, everyone, to the Alfalfa Podcast. We are live on YouTube right now, like we are every week, Wednesdays at 5 p.m. PST. Today, we're Eric, Armand, Steven, I'm Nick. And what's up to everyone joining the chat? Got Ali, Matt, Adam, Cameron, Brian, Jack, a Franco. What's up, y'all? Thanks for joining the chat. If you're watching live, come hop in, have some fun with us, and go ahead and like the video if you're in the chat. Subscribe if you haven't already. All the links are at alfalfapod.com. Support the pod and get your comment boosted up. Got a Beyond the Lights, we have a super chat feature. Want to play with it, test it out, see how
New
it works.
things.
Yeah, new things to play with. So yeah, check it out. Let us know if it works, how it works, if it's fun. We'll keep doing more of it. We got some more things coming, Armand, like little changes.
Yeah.
Maybe some like iterations we might go on.
Quick overview. Well, also, yeah, if you are on Twitter, X, which is most of you, I think that's the platform most of our community is on. Please share the episode. I just tweeted it from the Alfalfa account. You can just retweet that or share your own tweet with a little reason why people should watch. But yeah, look, the whole thing is that every week we meet as a team. As an Alfalfa podcast team.
I thought we were
and
just
we
friends.
talk about, well, we are friends first,
Yeah.
friends first, business second. But we meet and we constantly, as you guys have seen, are evolving this show. It started as one crazy experiment. It's now, I don't even know how many episodes we are into this thing, 180 something, 190?
Yeah.
Dozens.
Yeah. There's dozens of us. I don't know why I just remembered. Oh my God, the Never Newts. Have you seen Arrested Development?
Of course
That's
I
what
Oh
it's
have.
my
from, yeah.
God!
You
Is
think
that
I
why you
just
said
made-
dozens?
Yes.
That's why you said dozens?
Yes.
Oh my God!
Obvious
All right.
reference.
Well, I picked up what you put down, dude. It's not that obvious. One word, dozens.
Come
I feel
on.
proud. Oh, come on. Okay, that's also Job.
No,
Come on.
I'm coming on.
We
to
really
you.
need the poll feature. I
Yeah.
just want to
If
throw
you had
up,
said
like,
there's dozens of us,
Well, it's just
I'm like, okay.
I knew what he was talking about.
the
we
whole
all knew.
episode, we just need like an Armand Steva meter. I just wanted to like sway back and forth.
And that illustrates the kinds of things that we would like to do for you. Like this whole show is evolving to be very community centric. We want to create more engagement. Like as you saw, if you're in our Discord community, we crowdsourced this week, like what topics do you want us to cover? We're going to continue to do that more. We also have set up 3 segments now for the show that we're going to have as recurring segments. This might change. It's just our first week of doing this, but we're bringing back the Alfalfa Round. So we're going to dive right into that. Like a lot of people keep asking for that. Then we're just going to do these like quick hitters that we've been doing, and we're going to dive into your topics, our topics, things that are going on in the culture and the news. We're also taking a step back with money and really letting Eric and Steven go deep into that and irresponsibly long, and still going to talk money light when it's relevant to the exploration of alfalfa. But this is really not meant to be a crypto heavy show. And we're going to start to do more of that. And then last but not least, we're going to finish with a deep dive. Let's go Von Deeper. Let's step into the messy gray. And that's the meat of the whole thing. After we've warmed up, we're going to, kind of be a couple drinks in, loosen up, and really explore something meaningful, insightful, technological, whatever that may be. So hope you're excited. We're definitely excited. I'm excited, as you can tell. And let's let the games begin.
Perfect explanation of it.
Well played, sir.
Got another question for you. Mm-hmm. What are we drinking today?
Okay. So I'm usually not a big fan of these like canned cocktails, but I saw these and they were very intriguing. So they come in a box. It's 4 different canned tequila drinks, and I think they're absolutely delicious so far. So these are made by what's they called?
South Norte.
Yeah. South Norte. And you get 4 different tequila cocktails in the package. You get a Matador, a Paloma, a Margarita, and a Mexican Mule.
What is a
And they're
Matador?
all about 7 to even 10%. So watch out, guys, when you get to the Margarita.
How many calories on these bad boys?
Oh,
That's
margarita.
10%.
I'm guessing this thing is like 400 calories a can.
Yeah.
Doesn't even say.
Doesn't say. They're hiding
It's like
it
the
from
loophole. They
us.
don't
It
have to
doesn't
tell
say.
you in the
It doesn't
booth.
say on the
on.
can either. It's.
I love that
Doesn't
because it's
say.
alcohol, they don't have to put nutrition facts on it.
Oh, is that a thing? I
yeah,
didn't
you
know
ever
that.
notice that? Like, there's just never.
No, because I see like
Damn.
beers and stuff always
They
put
do.
Unless
that
you
in.
got like the Michelob Ultra.
Because
and they're
they're
like,
that's their USP is we're
Right.
low calorie.
Right.
Everything else.
Okay.
But yeah, enjoy.
These are good.
Cheers.
Thanks,
They're-
man.
They are, right?
Yeah.
They're actually better than you would think.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers, Baba.
Cheers.
This doesn't give me a hangover, then
Salud.
the Zbiotics are truly god tier.
Okay, well, now that we separate that comment to our sponsor, I'd like to give a shout out to Zbiotics. Go to zbiotics.com/alfalfa. It's the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. You make it the first drink you make of the night before you start drinking to have a little better tomorrow. We met one of the team of microbiologists, PhD, the CEO, Zach. Was a great time hanging out with him. But it's a probiotic that breaks down the byproduct of alcohol, which is responsible for the rough mornings after drinking. I brought out a Zbiotics to the bar this weekend to
Smart.
watch Formula One this weekend. And it was in China, so the race started at midnight. So we got there nice and early.
Did you also bring some espresso?
We got our Zbiotics in
This whole
around
thing
like
was so funny.
9:30, 10 p.m. We start slamming some Guinness. And
Yeah, like I've never seen Nick get like. I mean, I have before, but like you were ready. You were
Yeah.
excited.
I-
Like he was getting his drinks in. He was like, "Oi, brav," like level. Like he was just like in it, in the zone, like ready to go.
And right at 11, I was like, the pre-race show is on. Bartender, can you throw it up? She's like, I'd love to, love. But we close at midnight, so you may not be able to watch the
I think
show.
she's something.
no.
There's a bit of a problem, love.
I didn't hear about that.
We're closed in 10 minutes.
no.
Get the fuck out.
Wait.
Nick
Yeah.
just started crying.
Wait. So what happened?
I don't know, implosion inside my soul.
But you
Whole
guys all
plan.
met up to do this.
Can
Yeah,
I just
Steven was
say
there.
how put together Nick was about the whole thing? I would have lost it. He just was like, "It's not happening. I'm going home." I would have just been dumbfounded. Like,
Go Gladiator.
no, you don't understand. I came here for this. Would have been my first remark.
Is this not why you are here?
What bar closes at midnight? Who does that?
He was so respectful. It was really nice. I would have had way too many questions.
She gave you enough time to go back home. Is that what it was?
Yeah, exactly. At
That's
least
why
we
you're
asked
okay.
early enough. So anyway, thanks Zbiotic for the help, even though it was a false start.
Yeah.
Yeah. So use code Alfalfa for 15% off.
And it did help
and
me
support the
too.
pod. It did help you.
I had
Oh,
it after 2 drinks and it still helped. Of course, that's not ideal.
you were on
wanna
daughter
have it
duty at
before
4:50 a.m. in the morning.
4:50 a.m.
It stings.
Yeah.
Stings a
All right.
bit.
So back by popular demand, specifically Kretzky 10 in the Discord.
Wait.
Oh,
we forgot
sorry.
one thing.
Are you Columboing me? One more thing?
We forgot about the Alfalfa NFT.
oh, please go
Yes.
on.
Yes. Alfalfa NFT. Now I'm told live
moving
on
to
base.
base.
We were on base, bitches.
Oh, I,
Yeah,
I
you-
thought you were going to say
You kinda,
baby, but
kinda
you went
pulled a punch on that
you
one.
went for bitches.
I thought about baby, and I decided it needed to have a little more oomph to it.
Yeah, okay.
Kind of went like half speed on it.
Yeah.
What is a
Bitches.
transaction price?
It's basically free.
Okay.
It's basically
nice.
free. Basically, that should be Base's slogan actually. Base. It's
Basically free.
Basically
So how do I get one of
free.
these?
Pods.media/alfalfa if you would like to support
Why
the
am I not
pod
collecting them.
and mint one.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I believe they're available via Farcaster if you
Mhm.
happen to be on there. We did have 51 people collect last week's episode.
Hell yeah.
So
Let's go,
thank you
guys.
Yeah,
for that,
baby.
everybody.
Let's go.
Shout out to Red Sparks with a Z.
Damn.
.eth,
Let's go, Red Sparks.
the first collector last week, and
Hell yeah.
I wanna
First.
see. I want to see some. I want to see some multiples on the leaderboard next week. I will shout you out.
Okay.
So we're on base now.
We're on base.
Okay, Matt's
base,
asking
baby.
because we're on base, baby.
We're on base.
We're
baby.
excuse me, bitches. We're on base, bitches. If you're on base, yeah.
yeah.
And then we go Von Deeper later. All right.
Oh, we've gotten like 3 impersonations today. We're on fire today.
Yeah, I
from
told
on.
you I'm ready to headbutt.
Okay. Like I was saying, Alfalfa Round is back. So I'm going to toss it to Eric first because I heard 5 seconds of your Alfalfa Round and I already knew I needed to hear more.
Yeah. Okay, so my alfalfa is I'm going car shopping, and it's different than Armand's style. Like I'm not very good at it. I'm just like trying to identify what the fuck to buy here.
Oh, you
first.
pay full price?
I pay full price. So first thing my wife wants is a Porsche. She wants a Porsche Macan.
Of course she does.
Subtle.
This is great.
Okay, first of all,
Great start.
she's probably listening right now, so I'm gonna be cautious where I
Most chick car of all time.
where I tread. I'm gonna be tread
Wait, is
lightly.
that the SUV?
It's the SUV.
It's a small SUV.
It's a small
okay,
SUV. So we test drove it, and
Crossover.
and I'm inside this thing, and all I see is the price tag on it, and I'm just like, what the fuck? But I'm in this car, and I'm driving it too, and I'm like, okay, it is literally just a car, like any other car. Like it's slightly faster than the Lexus she currently drives. The interior is like same. It's just leather seats, and it's fine.
It's not like baby lambskin or something?
It's literally just a car.
Okay.
And it's just like $80,000 or whatever, a starting price. And now I'm wondering, like, so we get in this thing, and she actually notices the same thing. She's like objective enough to be like, oh yeah, well, kind of thought it'd be better. But then like I had this moment where I was like, are we just being morons? Are we being morons for not buying a Tesla right now and just like forgetting about this whole ordeal?
And why is buying a Tesla the kind of like default in your mind?
Well,
And forgetting about this ordeal. What's the ordeal that Tesla solves?
so I don't have one. I've never even driven one, but I imagine there's a lot of people in our chat right now that have
I mean,
one.
it's the most popular car.
And like, here's the one thing that I noticed right away is that it has that fucking feature where it drives for you. Is that like,
Which apparently, based on the most recent update, is like actual legit people are
Okay,
like
when I ask
very
people,
excited.
when I ask people about this feature, I'm like, do I need to spend
No.
like 15 grand on this? They're
In
like,
the most recent
yes,
update.
Yes,
Okay, yes.
And they're like, I've never seen people,
Especially
as
with the
amped.
most recent update. Like I saw it just flooding Twitter after that update. Just
I think
people
buying
being like,
the
wow.
Tesla self-driving is kind of like selling naked call options. 99% of the time it works, but then that one time you die and implode.
So like, I've never driven one,
That's
and
fun.
I'm not a car person or anything. But like, let me get this straight. There's a car that drives for you. It's faster than a Porsche, and it's half the fucking price.
And it doesn't take gas and it doesn't
Like,
need any maintenance.
What am I even
Needs little
doing?
maintenance.
What the fuck are we doing going to the Porsche?
What about the battery anxiety? Is that a thing? Like just like I need to be close to a charging station at all times?
I think that is because like I do like doing these long road trips. I drive out to Wyoming to my parents' place.
Don't
and
most
stuff.
people plug in at home?
Yeah, I
And
would
you
like.
have a home
Yeah, I have a home. I would install that.
charger.
That charger station or whatever.
Yeah, I think people that have battery anxiety don't have that.
Okay.
Like,
You have a house. You could get some solar.
yeah, you could do that.
I
too.
like that's my other thing. It's like if we get the Tesla, then do I become the full fucking electro boy where I like solar the roof and like
Oh, I love that. for
power
you, yeah.
station and everything?
Yeah, we love people to take the upsells.
Yeah, right.
I mean, when you talk about like objective reasoning, it makes sense. But a lot of people value cars for the car. They
Right.
love the car. They love, like you say, well, this leather is the same, and they immediately are interrupting you. And I can hear people screaming at some of the comments you made. But I'm on your side. To me, car's mostly a car. I do care about little features, but some people are like, no, but this was Napa leather, and this has so much more torque, and this has. When you're viewing things objectively in a way of saying like, this purpose of this is to get from A to B. Objectively speaking, yeah, I think that there's arguments for like less cost on maintenance, less cost up front. I mean, Elon just tweeted all in after the reimbursements and reduction in gasoline savings, $29,000 starting price on the Model Y. And it's a great car. The Model 3, I think, is like cheaper and does some people complain
throw this
doesn't
up on the
feel as
screen,
quality.
Eric.
But like, I don't know if we have it.
I have it up.
Oh well,
cool.
here's another thing that I saw. Consumer Reports put out their cheapest cars to maintain, and number one, and it's not even close. Is
By a lot.
It's like number one by a lot is Tesla,
Number one by 20%.
and they have two categories here. It's like years
yeah.
1 to 5, and then years 6 to 10, and Tesla wins on both of those timelines. And
1 to 5 year cost is $580.
and then when you scroll down, Nick, at the very bottom is Porsche.
I don't find
keep
it.
going.
Where is it?
Oh no, it's Land Rover is by far the worst.
$4,000 versus $500.
Yeah,
for
so
Where
1 to
is
5 years?
Mercedes?
Land Rover,
Holy.
Porsche, and
Yeah,
Mercedes
I'm so
are the
stupid.
worst.
I'm a Mercedes guy. and
Oh,
it's
I'm,
just
I'm
stupid.
Audi team.
I gotta.
Yeah,
be
Right.
German. German is so expensive.
Yeah,
dude.
this is real.
They're all German. Porsche,
is-
Mercedes,
this price is
Audi.
real.
Look at that. Those are all German and one English car.
So those are that's from Consumer Reports, and I was like going through this post, and the comments below it were like, well, what about when you have to replace your entire battery in 12 years? That's going to be another $25,000 or whatever for your Tesla. And then I discovered that Tesla's co-founder, this guy named J.B. Strobel, is actually working on this battery recycling startup. And he's raised $4 billion. He's like built out this facility in Nevada that they produce enough batteries right now to create, I guess, 250,000 electric vehicles. And that's like just now.
Don't you know about that stuff, Nick?
A little bit.
Anything to add?
No, I mean, I just invested, and I
Okay.
know nothing.
So like I was kind of
Curious
shocked to
about
see that like
this company.
the way that we're going to move forward, I think, with like this EV stuff, I guess like in an idealistic sense, like I don't know if this is going to work, but in an idealistic sense is that like we don't even rely on China anymore in the supply chain. We just recycle, the lithium from
But it's
all
the
the other
idea that like
devices.
once the amount of lithium that we need for all the EVs is enter the United States, that if everyone recycles, it's like 100% replacement, like 1-to-1.
It's not 100%.
Okay, but it's
I think
enough.
what they were saying is that like we only need to replace like a small percentage every year, but like that would dramatically reduce the price of buying a new battery for a Tesla.
All right.
Is Tesla like the Ethereum of cars?
Yeah, it's like it just makes so much sense.
It's just so great and cheap. Why is nobody buying it?
Yeah, why does no one
stock
like
went
it?
up. Stock went up if that helps you feel any better.
I think it's the best-selling car in California.
I think the model.
Tell that to the stock price.
Well, the Model Y was the best-selling car in America.
In
this year.
America?
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah.
but
Good product, bad price.
I also agree
Ethereum.
though. Like, I also agree that there's like this subjective element to it. Like, if everyone out there with enough money buys a Tesla, then you no longer feel special for like, you drop like $60,000.
That is their other concern when you're buying. Like, I mean, I had the same conversation with my wife, and she was like, "Are you seeing a lot of Teslas?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's the most popular car." And she's like, "I don't think I want one anymore because
Yeah.
it's not unique enough."
Right.
I
it's kinda
feel
lame.
here like I want to get that little Polestar crossover.
The
'cause
Polestar
it
is
looks kind of
sick.
cool. and
Polestar
nobody has
3
it.
is out or coming out.
Still want to be
and,
like
and it's like really cool.
white California dude number 8 million with Tesla
Right.
Model Y.
And if they like go this
driving down
robo taxi route, then you're like spending all this money and you like basically drive a taxi. Like that's kind of pretty lame.
That's true. That's true.
All right, Armand, what do you
All
got
right.
for the Alfalfa Round this week, if anything, sir?
I don't have anything.
Okay, Steven.
All right, so we created a pod topics thread in the Discord.
Mm-hmm.
So we're crowdsourcing some of the stuff now. So I saw that our boy Marty McFly was asking about wallet setups.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this
Yes.
is a good one to address.
So
I also could use this.
yeah,
Potentially.
super quick hitter. I use Rabby for the wallet. Been using
Instead of,
Rabby since
MetaMask.
basically since it came out. I've been saying this thing is like the best.
I did switch to it
and
last
finally,
month.
like I think consensus is like moving over. People are like, oh, this is good.
It's good.
It's about like 100
Relatively
times
speaking.
better than MetaMask.
Yes.
For a bunch of reasons. The UX is better. The feature, the protective features where it like simulates the transactions for you, so you don't get robbed. All sorts of good stuff. But I use Rabby, and then I use DBank. They have like a bundle feature, so you can kind of add all of your wallets in, and then you can kind of get a snapshot of your whole portfolio.
Holy shit! I did not know about this. by the way.
Unfortunately,
that's
those
killer.
You can't
fuckers
connect
just
your-
went paid, I think. So
Oh,
there might be
There's a few other ones
some
like
hang-ups there, but
so
like,
that
DBank's
takes
a great
care of
product.
like EVM type stuff, right? It doesn't pull in.
everything EVM, yes.
But how do I get one that just shows me everything?
it does do that.
No,
it
Yeah,
doesn't
it
show you
it
Solana.
doesn't show me my Solana, my Bitcoin.
But I
Oh, well,
use.
yeah.
Doge.
I mean, you don't need anything
That's
for
a
your
significant
Bitcoin.
portion
you have
of my
like,
portfolio.
You go. I have 0.3 Bitcoin, and it's this price. Like, it's like nothing on there. You know,
I
you
guess.
just have Bitcoin. Solana, I use Phantom Wallet and Step Finance to
Wait,
kinda
so
aggregate
there
everything.
is no product that does this?
There is one.
Okay, there is
It's
one.
called CoinStats.
CoinStats.
It's not the only one. It's
I don't.
the one I
don't
use.
like the products
it's
that
terrible.
do them. Yes,
Terrible.
they suck. I just went back.
I cannot
to,
get it to work.
I'd rather just use the two wallets and the
So
two.
probably
products.
what's better is to do what Steven's saying is you use the one that's specifically for each blockchain, and then you just,
Step
pull
finance.
a Nick and spreadsheet it.
Step
pull
Finance
it
and
in.
DBank.
But that gives you the overview that you need.
I don't know. Sounds like this one should go in the idea backlog.
Yeah.
I mean, if you recall, I was looking at that, and I even met up with you
Yeah,
once
you're right.
to do this, but it's really complicated.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
And,
really
I have like a hardware wallet. I
mean,
use a ledger behind that stuff.
someone
And
out
then
there wants
on
to do it.
Solana, I have one hot wallet where it's just I'm just free balling on my computer because I got to rapid trade the memes,
Yeah.
But
Of course.
don't keep a lot.
Do you still have your CryptoPunk?
Unfortunately, yes.
Okay. And does that sit in its own special wallet, or is that mixed in with other assets?
Oh yeah, I have that in like a multi-sig.
Okay. Cool.
Why it's worthless.
Wow, dude, really throwing salt over here.
I haven't bought one yet, but I see the price every day go
Basically,
lower.
it's just only like a smooth like 200 grand, basically.
I don't know. It's like a
Basically dog shit.
smooth 115 grand now.
No, my punk is clean.
Sure.
It's a clean punk.
Your punk is
hasn't-
more special than the others.
It hasn't
It is.
been in multiple wallets. It's not a whore.
No, I mean it looks clean.
It's not a whore
It
punk.
looks clean.
God, am I allowed to say that? I don't know where the
It
line
looks
is.
clean.
I don't know,
I'm just
the-
talking purely.
I
about
really
the
don't know where the
aesthetics.
Overton window of alfalfa is.
Yeah, I
you know?
don't.
Well, Zabik and Gary Wall are giving shout outs to the Shah, so I think you got room to slide here.
Okay.
All right, so
Zabik the midget. Wow.
thanks for sharing that. Marty, if you got more questions for Steven, throw them in the money channel, the Discord. That'd be fun. All right, let's go to our first topic here. So,
Oh, we have an engineer at MetaMask in the chat.
And we all hear you.
Yeah, I mean, if you didn't, it is plain as
All right,
day.
Kate
that-
Johnson,
Kate.
if that's your real name. I was screaming for
Yeah.
these features like 4 years ago.
I think MetaMask has the most incredible opportunity of all by literally just having the users, and they just
They're
can't
like the
ship
open sea
good
of
product
wallets
fast
right
enough.
now.
I'm still a MetaMask user.
It is exactly the open sea of wallets. You have everything you need to succeed. Balls in your court.
What if I?
Katie might reference the trading fees that they're still pumping.
Yeah. What if I told you I still use the trade feature in
Oh,
MetaMask?
Do you guys
God.
remember when we were doing that for the
I wish I had
airdrop?
holy water to like bless you right now, and, like forgive you for your
Using
sins.
the swap feature in MetaMask is like the ultimate like I don't give a fuck flex. Like, yep.
I thought there would be like a
Whatever.
airdrop at some point, maybe.
Oh, remember that?
That's why we were
Good
doing
times.
it
Yeah.
and paying those ridiculous
times.
fees to swap.
Yeah.
Mask
Thanks,
token.
Joe, for that tease.
You got
Um,
any alfalfa?
No, I'm passing this week.
All right,
All right, cool.
let's move on.
All right, so let's
wrap
go to the first topic. So, Eric, if you show this on the screen.
Wait, can we show that one other banter item really quick?
No, it's too late.
Okay, damn
Yeah.
it. That's out of order. Out of order!
Out of order. Okay, so Chris Ramsey's part of Real Estate Twitter. I follow him. I was doing my quarterly goals, and this was proper for me. It says, use cash flow from businesses. Buy real estate. The more cash flow, the more real estate we get to buy. Get tax advantages. That's it. That's the secret. So my question to you guys is, this is the path I've chosen. Someone pitch me a better way to accumulate wealth over a lifetime.
Okay.
Having
do
a
you
hard
want to go
time.
first?
No.
I feel like you want to say something.
No, you can go. I'm just gonna say that I'm not doing this.
I can't stand like real estate bros. It's just like, I can't.
Go
It's just
off,
like,
King.
There's just like, oh yeah, you just buy real estate and it goes up. It's the best thing. It just goes up forever. It's like, does it? There's been plenty of things that went up for like a couple decades, and then like for a half a century they turned to shit, right? Like this idea that like, oh yeah, we're just real estate just gonna keep going up and up and up and up. It just only goes up. You just buy things and buy.
Well, he's
real-
not
it's
talking
so
about
easy.
buying single-family homes. Do you at least make that distinction? That's not what he's making. And he's also assuming the reader has some kind of credibility because they've obviously made cash flow from a business. So if they can run a business, can they run a rental property?
Use cash flow from business. Log into brokerage account. Buy S&P index. Go back to
Okay, I
make
like this.
more money.
So
I
my
think this
version
is
of
like a
that-
good alternative.
My
buy the
version of
market,
that,
you know.
especially versus real estate, is buy Bitcoin.
Okay, but so it doesn't matter if you have cash flow from a business, whether
No.
you're a high W-2 earner or
No.
you're doesn't
Buy
matter.
Bitcoin.
Okay.
He is
All of
right
it?
that the tax
Bitcoin-
advantages are good.
Yes.
We don't talk about it enough. I'm going to keep talking about it more. Bitcoin is the greatest asset on earth.
Do we?
We talk about it a
Sailor
lot.
been
dude.
inside of you this whole time.
Well, we talk about it a lot.
I
Nobody in
mean,
the show has ever
we
said
we
that.
don't talk about Bitcoin specifically as a great sort of. Here goes Steven with his. Did you just hand motion
Yeah.
in my direction
Yeah.
to insinuate
That's a
something?
meme. That's a meme. What is this? What is this hand?
And it was the wrist angle though was
Oh,
interesting.
No. Yeah, he did. He,
He did have
he did
a
hand up.
soft.
Did he hand upside down?
No, yeah. Look, buy Bitcoin. That's I think the surest path toward. I mean, there's a lot of volatility there, but like in general, if I'm cash flowing from businesses, more and more over time as time goes on, you're going to get more comfortable with the Bitcoin volatility and be able to withstand drawdowns. I'm not saying to stay in Bitcoin forever. Sometimes you want to move to cash and maybe something a little bit more like S&P 500 index. I like VOO, VOO, VTSAX, stuff like that. From Vanguard, lowest fees, but it's a mix of those two things for me.
Okay, Eric, you got a path.
The
that you're
reason,
on,
by the
or-
way, that I think it's simpler is like there's too much decision-making fatigue up front, even though you say there's none after the fact. Way too much time up front to make those decisions.
I mean, like
I
the
have
real estate. Which real estate do I
no
invest in?
decision I need to make other than buy Bitcoin and buy VOO.
Okay.
That's my decision, and I just buy it, and I know it's going to be there.
This thing, this tweet here, like you can break it down. First one is like use cash flow from businesses. I don't think that's even necessary. I think like not everyone owns a business, and you can just like work a job and like get cash flow from your paycheck. That's fine. And then you buy assets. It doesn't have to be real estate. I think like Armand just pointed out, there's like other assets you can buy. Real estate has like really good tax advantages for its like dividend style income, which is nice. But like if you don't need that, then like there's great tax advantage for just holding your assets and not selling them as well. I think that like for me, it's not really about real estate or Bitcoin or anything. It's just like whatever suits your needs. Like all of them are pretty good. You just like take your cash flow, put them in assets. I particularly like Ethereum, but I like all the ones that we've already talked about.
All right, so
I hate the first line of this tweet too.
why? All it is
Do
implying.
you guys remember that South Park episode with the underpants gnomes, where it's like step 1, remember step 2, step 3,
money?
profit.
Yeah, profit. Yeah.
That's what this one is.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
use cash flow from
No,
businesses.
what
Like,
he's implying is like,
just
hey, you want to be an owner. You want to be the ownership side
You know
of
what's
the
really
economic
funny?
equation.
that's
is
it.
just how hard it is to pull off step
It's like,
one.
That's it. Just
And like frankly,
just
it's much
all you
easier.
have to do is take the cash flow from your business and pile it into assets that go.
and
People
honestly,
are like,
for most
how
people,
to start LLC.
for most people, it's much easier just to like work a job and cash flow from your paycheck than it is to start a business. So I'd probably say that number one is already flawed.
Yeah, number 1 should be like bounce around Silicon Valley startups, collecting
So
equity
are-
and going
are-
from company to
Are
company.
you telling people
Yeah,
that
it should be.
that being an owner is not the path towards wealth? Like this seems a little odd because you're also saying like own the S&P 500. That's a share in a company. Like
This is the minority path to wealth. I think what Steven's describing is that there's a much more higher probability way of cash flowing more quickly,
yeah.
more probabilistically speaking, like you're going to be successful working in tech, getting equity or options, rolling into the next company, increasing your salary, learning to negotiate your salary, getting to 400K a year, maybe getting a couple exits along the way, and then buying.
All right, that's the path I was
X
hoping someone would
asset.
bring up because like we have a lot of friends who have pursued that path.
We have so many friends that have made way more money than this, but just by
They
you
go
know,
from
I'm
Uber
guessing.
to Facebook,
Yeah,
then
they
Facebook to
work the
Google.
job. Yeah.
They get a pay raise every time they switch jobs, and they get some options along with
Dude,
it.
do you know how many people? I know multiple people at Nvidia worth $10 million plus from their stock. They're done.
So you kind of want to
They're
be in
done
that
already.
like a publicly traded growth tech, company, but not maybe a Mag 7 already.
But even if
Yeah.
you're not, you can still work at any job and like save and buy assets. Like
Guys, you're overcomplicating this. All you have to do is get
Is
equity
budget.
at a company that becomes $1 trillion publicly traded company, and you're good.
it's
That-
like
that's it.
It's
That's
like
the
that
tweet.
blonde girl at the beginning of the show. It's all you have to do, guys.
But it's I know it's hard, but like for example, like my brother, getting a job at like Databricks,
Yeah.
brilliant. He did it early enough that it was like he got in early enough that this equity is going to be worth a tremendous amount, and that company is worth many billions already, and will be a leader not just in its industry with data, but AI and open source models. Like this company is accruing tremendous value in AI.
And he came from Twilio, where he
And he
also
came
had
from
options.
Twilio,
Yeah.
where he also got a tremendous amount of upside. So it isn't that hard actually to kind of see like the big, like once you're looking at Series B companies, it's pretty clear who's going to crush it, in my opinion.
Okay, so we're focused on the
In my
income
opinion.
side, though. What about the investing side? Like Nick, why do you like real estate so much? Why is that better than S&P or Bitcoin or
Right.
ETH or whatever?
Yeah, because it provides both growth and income. And the income is essentially tax-free because of
Go
the
to
depreciation.
The power of passive income. Here we go.
It could be passive. It
I
may
love
not.
that.
Like if you're managing the property, it's not passive at all.
Well, wait on a second. Why is like what Nick does with multifamily real estate as an LP not passive?
It's actually, you know how you can
Oh
prove
no,
it?
no! I'm just referencing like this like meme that went around on Twitter where
Yeah.
some guy was like, "Would
Passive
you rather
income.
have $1 million today, or $100 a month.
Right.
I'll take the $100 a month because that's the power of passive income. And then you had like remember Degen Spartan was just like, just get rich. Like, who cares about your cash flow? Just get wealthy.
I mean, I think the proving point for is it passive income is if you tried to help that no one would let you help. Like, I'm a investor in these multifamily properties as a limited partner, and if I showed up to the office one day, they'd be like, "Get the fuck out of here! Please escort them off the premises."
That's nice. You have limited amount that you can invest unless you keep running your system that you've been running, which I know everyone is very interested in, which is like, what are the other funds around the country that you can invest into as an LP? And there's a limited number of deals. There's absolutely virtually
and
no
the threshold
upside.
is usually
There's
a
no
little
threshold.
higher. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it might be like $100,000
And you
a
have
deal.
a 17-point checklist, which we all
yeah,
want.
yeah, the spreadsheet.
There's no checklist with Bitcoin.
Well, how about this? Like, you probably have done this in your own spreadsheet. It's like, how do you compare your staked ETH versus your real estate? Because I think Steven and I would agree that staked ETH is going to fucking kill the real estate holdings.
What?
Staked ETH is going to
And
kill
what
your
return
real
are
estate
you
holdings.
getting there on the staked ETH?
Well, I mean,
3.5%.
Well,
and then
hold
you get
on.
taxed on income tax rates.
Steven, what return
Not
are
if you wrap
what,
it, you noob.
Yeah, what
Oh,
return?
yeah, if I
what
just,
return are
like,
you getting on your ETH right
just
now, Steven?
lever up and
'Cause
increase
my
the risk.
APY,
Like,
No.
my APY is like 60%.
What's the and not only that, but like the fact that like what's your real risk at all in general with staking beyond like no leverage, the no leverage version?
I mean, your risk of buying
You
ETH
check
is
all the
extraordinarily
boxes.
high. Your risk of buying Bitcoin is extraordinarily high.
Yeah.
It is.
yeah. I mean, all that you're betting is that, you know, this generation, the next, can't afford a home, so they're going to want to rent.
Right, but like let's be real here. Like Nick puts the money into these real estate deals where you get no liquidity and you hold it for 7 years without looking. That's like the same. That's like what you would hope to do with your Bitcoin or your ETH.
Except you can't make the mistake of selling too early or botching the job. It's
Okay,
just
the,
there.
the other problem with real estate is that Biden just proposed like a 46% cap gains tax today.
Give me a fucking break.
Here in the year. What do you think happens 10 years from? Do you think there's a chance that somebody's just like, you know what? Like, it's kind of a shame that nobody can afford housing. What if we just take people's, like,
Okay,
what if we just
you know
tax
another one
your-
of those like
just
tax
wealth tax your
advantages
real
is the
estate?
1031 exchange where you can roll up profits from a real estate sale into another deal without having to pay
I
taxes.
agree, but I just feel like
That's
the
been-
problem with real estate
It's a
is
great
it's the
advantage.
most easily like attackable asset that you
Ex-
could own.
Except that you look at like half
Maybe
of
it's-
Congress and they're all
I
landowners.
think it's the least attackable because
exactly.
the rule makers are the
Congress
ones protecting
now,
real
but
estate.
eventually Congress is going to be full of a bunch of millennials
I think
who can't buy anything. And then they're
historically,
gonna be like,
real
yeah,
estate-
let's take all the
I
shit.
think
from
historically real estate's been the most protected, and it's also the one that the majority of people have their wealth in.
Yeah, so
And
they
for
will
that
continue
reason,
to protect
it
it.
will continue to be protected.
I agree.
So that's a great argument for it. That and the 1031 for me make it a great argument for
And the
it.
total return.
I like Nick's path to wealth, and I like the tweet.
The total
I just,
return is fucking
you know,
dog shit.
what do you
the
mean?
total return is dog shit.
What
Like
is
your average annualized real estate return is actually way fucking lower than people think. Like it only gets high like if you're good
20
at
to 25%
selecting mar-
is low?
Do you seriously think that is like the blanket passive return? You get that because
I'm
you're
just
a
going off the
gigabrain.
data I have.
You're,
Okay,
you're
but, like-
fucking gigabrain real estate savant. Like,
But even if you're-
sniping epic markets and like
Dude,
epic deals,
I
you
agree.
know?
So Gigabrain Nick is getting 25-30% annual returns, but like moron who buys and holds Bitcoin for 7 years is crushing that.
Fact.
Another threshold that
Except
Tyler,
he's sold at the bottom and is buying at the top again.
another threshold that makes perhaps like just buying the S&P or buying Bitcoin a better argument. You know, Tyler's talking about like, I can't afford real estate right now, but I can buy $100 of Bitcoin. And I think the truth underlying that is that each one of these real estate deals requires $50,000, $100,000 at a time. That's as an LP. What if you're doing it on your own and
More,
you're
lot
buying properties?
more.
Way more,
Yeah.
$300,000, $400,000 at a time. And that's just the down payment. You take care of all the
Operating
costs, you
expenses,
deal with all the
buffers, yeah.
management, you have to deal with the rental. The cost to entry, completely different
I
game.
actually think the
Different
S&P
thresholds.
500 is like also like you could easily replace real estate with just buy the S&P 500, let it grow over time. I mean, at some point, you know, I hate this like 4% rule they talk about when it talks about, you know, how much money do you need in your retirement. I think that's
Why?
because 4%, they don't take into account the taxes of it.
What is the rule?
They're like, oh, you can
it's the
withdraw
you know the
4% of your
4% rule.
portfolio every
That's,
year.
that's
like
just
saying-
shit like people make up. to.
No, but
Britain.
it's
just
not
like-
made up. It's like saying that.
This is how the people calculate their retirement number. They say
Yeah,
like,
this is
how
a
much would I
very
need
important
to
number.
withdraw 4% every year and maintain my wealth?
And it's so that you're not digging into your principal.
Yeah. But
Right, but it's dependent on like
The year.
1,000 variables.
I know, but over time, it averages out correctly so far.
I think it's a pretty good guideline roughly, but like I'd go back to my main point here is that like just invest in the assets that you like. You know, if like I think real estate caters more to people who are looking to preserve wealth versus like crypto is more people who want to grow it.
For now,
Sure.
I really believe
But
it's
it's
a
about-
wealth preservation strategy in the future.
Absolutely.
So
And like
that's my argument.
in the present too, probably.
All right.
All right. Next
The,
topic
uh,
here.
Content.
The bankless account is noting that you don't have any holes in your jeans.
Yeah, I've been buying more Bitcoin. Everything's
Everything's a little
life
richer
has
now.
improved.
You don't have to suck D anymore for rent
Haven't
money.
been in the down in the gutters.
I'm the opposite. I see jeans with no holes, and I go, "Oh, poor guy."
I
on tough times.
have multiple
Can't afford whole
that I have
jeans.
in rotation waiting to come onto the pod with actually extra rips.
Can I make a confession? I have like 2 pairs of jeans.
Really? I know.
That's
Yeah,
it.
you like to wear your
I don't think
your
I've worn a
go-tos.
pair of jeans in like.
I got a question
Well,
for
we
you
know.
guys.
We know how
Yeah.
you dress up for the pod. You dress up
Yeah,
very
I
special.
only
You
wear
wear your
jeans.
Viore.
I have a question for all
I'm
you guys.
trying to get us a sponsorship deal. Okay,
Wait.
I don't know. You guys
Yeah.
aren't pulling your weight, quite frankly.
Steven, yeah, keep
You get me a sponsorship deal and I'll wear Viore.
I
yeah, keep
am-
going, Steven.
I am Viore model every week.
Get me the deal.
I am just full.
Okay, this question
Full
applies
V.
to jean wearers and Viore wearers. How often do you guys wash your pants?
Oof.
if
maybe
I
weekly?
don't have to,
Maybe?
I won't.
I don't wash them until
Never.
they smell bad.
So I
Every
won't-
time you wash them, they die a little bit.
No, hold on. Those you have to wash.
Everything.
Yeah, but like jeans,
These especially.
if you can
have to
avoid
conserve.
washing-
I'm like almost never. I'm like
Almost
almost
never.
never
Almost
on the
never.
jeans.
So if I get a stain on the jean that I can't hand wash out,
Yeah.
then I'm washing it.
Kind
Nick?
of the same boat.
Oh, like almost never.
Forced wash because of a stain, or my fiance's like, "When's the last time you washed those?"
So what do
I'm
you-
pretty sure I brought this up once. You guys said like you ruined the pants by washing them.
So what do you
Yes.
do with the jeans when you take them off? Would you like fold them, put them back in the drawer? What do you do with them?
I have like a
What?
easy lay place where it's like meant for
Wait,
like
what?
not folding
They
and
go
hanging.
back in the closet. They go back where they came
Are jeans
from.
like a cast iron skillet? You're not supposed to wash it. You just constantly season your
Yeah,
jeans.
cast iron skillet is a perfect analogy.
That's incredible.
Yeah, yeah, it's perfect.
I'm just seasoning it, babe. It's
No,
still.
it's like that burger joint that has this that has the flat top
The perfect
for
flat top.
20 years, and it's just like the reason the burger's good is
Yeah,
like the
this
flat top.
This imparts the flavor.
It's
Yeah.
true. Like once you wash them, like you put them back
They're
on, you're
destroyed.
like,
I will say though, when you need to wash, there's a simple hack: wash them cold, inside out. Don't dry them.
Alfalfa Round was
Don't
missing
dry
that.
them.
There you go, alfalfa round.
You dry them, they're toast.
You're
the
done.
dryer is the death of
Yeah.
of all clothes.
Okay, I'm really glad you asked that question.
That's the hard eating question.
All right, so Armand queued up this next topic. Let's put this on the screen. At N Wokeness tweets, in 1993, 60% of Americans in their early 30s, 30 to 34, had at least one child. Now that number is down to just 27%. This is by far the most catastrophic event in American history, and most people are too distracted to realize it's happening. So the question is, catastrophic or nothing burger in reality?
Yeah, that's the question for you guys. Is like, there's this thing that Elon has brought a light to, which is that population collapse is our greatest existential threat. And at the same time, and that's what appears to be happening based on the data, we have population decline, we have less children per person per family, we have people having children later, which is what this is illustrating. And then on the other side, we have like life getting better, and we have more access to resources, and we're working less, and we will work less with AI. So what is this really? Like, if we dig into this.
I think for countries other than the United States, this is catastrophic. Like, I think on one podcast we talked about people crying that we're overpopulating the earth, and we called a little BS on that and said, depopulation or the population decreasing is a bigger thing. Japan, I think it's somewhat worrying. China, it's somewhat worrying. America has the benefit of immigration, and so we can show a little less organic population growth, or maybe a small decline, and I think America can always fill the gaps.
What about on the micro level, like on the individual level? If you just have no kids and you're into your mid-30s, is that a little nihilistic? Like, is that actually a demise of like society? Like,
we've had male friends say like, I don't want to have kids because I just don't want to bring children into this world.
Yeah, so to your point, what's happening there that people are just like, nah, not for me.
I thought it was always more like
But that's
financial. Like,
it's a cultural change.
Ooh.
Could
I
be
thought
a
it-
financial reasoning underpinning it, but it's a cultural generational change.
well, there's also the
That's what he's saying. In the 90s, 60%, and I
Right.
remember, you remember as a kid, all the people that looked
right.
like younger than us already had kids.
Well, here's the biggest
And homes.
cultural. Here's the biggest
And
cultural
homes,
shift, right? Is
and
that
homes.
women are now working, right? That's
Right.
the biggest cultural shift, and
And they're
So
forced to.
They weren't working in 1993 though.
Not as much. We don't have that data in front of us, but I
that's a
think
good.
that's
That's a good
clear
question.
as
Yeah,
well.
probably they were, but more now.
A few episodes ago, we talked about how the Gen Z generation wasn't going outside, wasn't having sex, wasn't going on dates.
No driving, fucking, or
Yeah, they weren't doing any of this.
Or drinking.
And so I actually wanted to bring up something else. I noticed a trend, kind of like qualitatively, and I found this clip I wanted to play.
Okay, here we go.
So
this is a
let's,
surprise clip
Surprise clip.
off agenda.
Wow.
Nick,
I
you
love it.
little
You dirty dog.
Dazzle me.
300,000. I would have to say 127. Probably 150 to a quarter of a million a year.
$500,000?
What the fuck?
Is that bad?
Who are they guessing?
150, maybe to 250,000 a year would be comfortable for sure.
I was just having
Is
this
this what they
conversation
want?
with
Yes.
a friend, and she was like, "You have to manifest a husband, girl. Ideally, my husband needs to be making like 650,000."
So you said you
So
want
specific.
500K, but what do you think the median income is?
One girl said 127.
60K? 70K?
It is $45,000.
Oh my god, really?
Yeah.
I think it's 250,000.
The median?
Yeah. What? No, it's not.
52,000.
Damn, America.
I love the guy just reacting in the bottom corner.
Yeah, I don't know where that guy came from. So that was someone asking women, like, what income does your future husband
Need.
have to make? And I gotta say that
Blown away.
I see what you're saying. Well played, sir. It's all the women's fault for having unrealistic expectations.
Well, I'm
and
blown
they're-
away.
They're not reproducing.
These
with us
women
anymore.
probably work too. What are they thinking? Like they are
They
in the workplace.
They think we earn a lot
They've
more.
internalized the patriarchy to such an
So
extent.
is that like
Yeah, yeah,
part
yeah.
of this this narrative that's like there's this like wide like disparity between like what genders are earning? Because
no,
like
yes and no.
fucked.
They're not speaking to what they think the average is, because that was only the last question: is what do you think the median is? They're speaking to what they want. They want the 1% man. That's what they want.
I think
Yeah.
they were trying to be honest and
Yeah,
reasonable.
this
like
is what
they're gonna
I
come across
personally
it
want.
in
That's not even a
everyday
1%,
life.
man, bro. That's like a point
Yeah.
zero two
Yeah.
percent.
But I do see where Nick's going with this, the hypergamy
Yeah,
idea.
so if we talk
Yeah,
about
they wanna
young
date.
men who are not going on dates, who are not able to buy homes, maybe trouble making a higher income, staying inside more, like this hypergamy concept.
Yeah, they don't
which
want to deal with this.
Women are always trying to either date up in class or income. You know, this presents a problem, and we've talked about the subject multiple times, and we said it's social media, phones that's keeping the sexes away. But like, what if it's this? That maybe social media is a cause for
Okay,
the higher
so
expectations.
if I understand this correctly, your argument is that over time, women's standards have evolved to become more. They're dating more up than they ever did before.
No, it's always been like that.
Like,
right?
They've always wanted to date up, but I think their
like-
perceptions of the world and what is
Their
median.
requirements have changed.
Yeah.
So like hypergamy
that's
existed
causing-
in 1993 as well, right?
Yeah. So what? But your argument is that hypergamy standards have increased.
No. If women always want to date up, but then the average woman has raised their own status over the last few decades, then that woman wanting to date up basically narrows out a huge chunk of the population. Even if the
And
average
as a
woman has
result,
the same preference.
they're not getting into serious relationships. They're not getting married. They're not having children.
Yeah.
different thing, maybe.
Okay, I have a different perspective.
Okay. If
I have no idea.
okay.
I think people innately have innately, subconsciously have realized that they're going to live much longer than their parents and previous generations. I think that they are not consciously configuring themselves to the realities of the biological constraints that in particular women have, but they feel that that buys them more time, and as a result they're delaying the process. I also think we're much more prosperous than we used to be, and prosperous people by and large tend to have less kids. So those are just two of the factors that I see that it's not laughable. It's very serious.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm about to agree with you.
Okay. Okay.
It's hilarious that you actually agree with one of Armand's takes.
He laughed at.
Oh,
okay,
man,
I
this is
took
gonna be
that as
funny.
like, what the fuck?
Because I thought of something funny as I was agreeing with you, because like this is just a continuation of a trend, because you can imagine like end wokeness circa 1648 tweeting in 1622 75% of English women had their first child by 14.
And now they're delaying it to 21.
Now they're delaying it to 21. Like, it's just like, it kind of feels like the
I
continuation of the
actually
same trend,
think
right?
it's gonna be okay, and it might be a nothing burger.
No, it's the worst thing in the world. You have to be alarmed.
What about this?
know
Like
if my alarm's
in
ringing.
'93 was like IVF and surrogacy. Were those things popular? Because like right now, I know that in my peer group, a lot of people are pursuing these.
So, counter argument to myself is, well, what's the drop in fertility then? You know, so that's real. IVF is up, fertility is lower, testosterone is lower. So, the challenge with these multivariate issues, which is all of life is multivariate, is we don't ever really know. It's like trying to study like our, you know, any nutrition science. Nutrition science is like the perfect analogy to like figuring these types of things out. You can never really pinpoint.
Yeah.
But it is still really interesting. Something has clearly changed.
Yeah. I don't think it's worth pulling an alarm bell about.
We're
I
gonna
don't
be
know.
okay.
Did you have a take
I
on
mean,
it,
we're going to
Steven?
be okay. But
My take on it is that it's just like largely human beings making like economically rational decisions, and I don't even mean like finance, because I actually don't think it's a financial thing, because like if you look at like there's actually like an inverse correlation, like if you look worldwide between poverty and how many kids people have.
Right.
Like
That's what I was saying.
right, like there are people who are living in like borderline squalor and they have like 9 kids, right?
Exactly.
So I think that's just an excuse people make. Like,
Yeah, I'm claiming the opposite. You know, the prosperity. I'm agreeing with you.
The reality is people don't want it as much anymore. Like if you really wanted it, like you should just like kind of make it work, I think.
Yeah.
What about like prophylactics? Is that the right word? Is that like more common than it was in 1993? Because
Sure, the accident thing is
Well, like,
but
maybe-
it's like 1993, you know.
like was the birth control pill around like prevalently in 1993? Because like I think very clearly people want to have sex, and if sex results in kids, then that's fine. But now
I was 9, so you know.
but
so
nowadays it's
tricky,
like
but
you can have sex without having kids. Is
Right.
that a thing?
I think that was like a 1960s thing. I think the 90s were chill.
I think the girl's dad who invented the birth control pill went to my school.
So many women listening now just being like, oh god. Kate Johnson is just like,
Sorry,
Just
Kate, we
left the
dished
chat.
on MetaMask, and now we're just fumbling the bag on prophylactics here. All right, well, for those who want to have kids, this next topic is for you.
this was a Discord prompt, right?
I think this was a Discord prompt. So
Who asked
we're
this?
generally
Yeah,
talking
who
about
asked this?
people in their lower to mid 30s looking for some advice. I think this was Patty Boo in the Discord.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And we found this tweet that might tee it up well. So, show this on the screen. Andrew G. Lynch tweets, I'm 35, happily married. We're about to have our first kid, and my career is really hitting its stride too. People 10 to 15 years ahead of where I am. What advice do you have? Some excellent points in this thread from Brent, and I want to hear more. So if you go through this tweet, there's just like tons of great advice from people in their 40s and 50s. And I have a few of my favorites that I pulled out, and I want to hear some of your guys'. I'll start it off with a few. One commenter talked about it's critical to maintain what I call the 3 lives. Your life as an individual, your life as a couple, and your life as a family. too many people sacrifice one or more having kids, and it's a recipe for trouble. Boundaries are everything. I saw similar things like go on dates with your wife, easy to ditch when the kids come around. Yeah, so those are some of the few I'll start off with. Did you guys have any favorites from the comment thread?
I think
I want to hear from the dad.
Well, Armand's gonna have some good dad ones. I think like he also asked for happily married people, and I like one of mine that I would say like this is like a tenet for me, is that you don't need your spouse to fill all of your cups. So like we have this really cool, unique thing here where we can like talk to each other about these topics or whatever. Like I don't need Mina to be that person for me. I don't need Mina to be the stock person for me. I have those, but she can be the filler of the cups that she fills, and that makes me very happy.
I actually heard that in a therapy session one time.
Oh.
That it's almost it's really unfair to consider your significant other your best friend, your lover, your career counselor, like all the above. It's kind of unfair to put that all on one person. And I mean, luckily I have you guys and our larger friend group to rely on, because I don't have to put all that and put these like high expectations that she's supposed to be all these things.
Thank God Armand's so good at giving killer blowjobs.
What?
He was trying to send it. He was trying to send a Bernie.
I couldn't do it.
Started laughing.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. The holy genes. I couldn't do it.
We need like a sound effect button. I need to just be like.
I'm sorry. What?
Armand? What? Yeah.
Everybody's like, what?
What's your fatherly advice?
I don't know if we can recover from that.
I don't know what's going on right now.
Hey, just pretend I didn't say that.
I don't know what's going on right now. I completely went over my head.
He was thought you were replacing one of my favorite. Roles
like you can fill up one of his cups.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I see what you're doing there. I mean, you wouldn't expect that from anybody. It's funny how we put that sort of level of responsibility on the significant other. If you really think about it, isn't it? You guys are gods.
Sorry, I can't stop thinking about it.
So what's this question?
No, like what about the fatherly advice?
Like what's the advice?
Okay, so people
Like,
10 to
what's the
15
advice?
years ahead of where I am. What advice do you have?
Well, I'm like a year ahead of where you
It's
are.
your Patty Boo.
Huh?
Patty Boo. That's his name, right?
Mm-hmm.
How about people
Patty Boo in the Discord.
1 to 2 years ahead of where
Give
I
me
am?
advice. Wise Alfalfa dad.
I think that the advice that and this is something I said to Steven, is okay, so everything is like two-sided and everything is a trade-off. Every decision in life is a trade-off. So I've been having multiple conversations at the same time that naturally come up. One is I look at my friends who don't have kids, and I've been sort of pushing you to travel, right?
Yeah.
Like on a whim, I would be in Tokyo right now. I went to like 52 countries in a matter of years, on my fingers. And I haven't been to one in like 2 years. So, and those 52, I wasn't even like country counting. I went to many of them 3-4 times. I just travel. That's gone. So, David from the episode, not David Bankless, but David the guest we had.
Bitcoin David.
He was like, Bitcoin David was like, travel's overrated. I was screaming at the camera. I can't wait to talk to David about that. He was like,
Eric was
I
like,
made my
yes.
money. I traveled.
I wasn't there.
It wasn't. I'm
You were
like,
listening.
okay. The reason I don't have a problem though, really, with
I
what he
hope.
said is because what I think he was trying to experience something that never really was his thing. He was just like, oh, I made money. I'm supposed to travel. For me, if you tell me like you're done, you don't have to do anything, that's all I'm going to do. And so what I'm saying to people that want to travel, that want freedom, that want the experiences, you should do them, because everything is definitely going to change. And that meme of like have baby will travel is like, I don't know, maybe you're a psychopath or you just have like a full-time staff or something. I don't have that. I don't know how you pull that off. And I'm an extremely easygoing, like, we don't have rules. We don't have to carry the books and do those things. We're very easygoing, and we still can't pull it off.
You just inspired me, dude, because we were talking about this after our recording last week, and you're like, get the travel in, dude. You don't have any kids. Go.
Have you mentioned what you're going to do?
Well, yeah.
Manchester
I
United
just
game?
booked a flight to England. Going to watch Manchester United in the FA Cup
This guy
final.
texts our footy thread and goes, I just booked the fucking FA Cup final
When are you
at
going?
Wembley Stadium.
It's
I want to go.
next
Dude,
month.
what a beast.
Wait, what?
It's
Wait,
it's
what day?
over the Memorial Day weekend. I don't think they celebrate that in
When is
England.
Memorial Day?
It's like
I don't know.
20,
Shut your trades off and go.
28th or something.
I'm gonna be there like the 15th.
Stick around.
Bro, this is like a serious experience.
No,
so
I think
these are
like-
the things you get to do.
I think the point is, it's like you inspired me to be like, wherever it is, it doesn't even matter what the event is. It's like, just go now.
But the opposite is also equally true. I don't know why I waited till I was 36 to have my first child.
Yeah.
I was like, this is awesome. This is amazing. Why did I wait so long? And I've had multiple conversations with Steven about that, where I was just like, oh my God, like, I want more kids, and I wish I would have started younger. So
you think Nick and I are okay? You don't need to talk to
you're
us?
okay. We're the same age. Like, we're the same age. Like, it's all fine.
Don't tell them we're older, Eric.
But the thing is that it is also true. So I guess like if it comes down to like advice, like I'm not really one for advice. I'm more of like I don't like when people ask necessarily for advice. It's just like what's true for me, because the shoe that fits one pinches another. And in terms of advice, I think advice is often flawed and should only be viewed objectively without putting the shoe on, because it often will pinch your foot if you put it on. It's like advice is like that. It's not for you. It's just a data point.
Well, do you have
So,
any?
like, the data point I would give for me, not the advice, is like it is so important to, especially as like a dad. It's probably a majority like males listening, to like develop a very unique way of spending time with your child, that they sort like the relationship that your baby develops with you versus the mom is completely different. And I would say just like tap into that more, and develop a unique relationship that is like, if you have a boy, even a girl, like that likes to just like wrestle and do stuff like that, you do it. Don't try to be like the mom. Like do it your way and trust your instincts.
I love that.
Like your instincts. I've read one book. It was called like something Bébé. It was a French book. It was a good book because I like the European method of parenting. It's not even a method. It's just
Having
a
no
way of
pair
life.
to help you.
Yeah. Yeah, but like the American way is like helicopter and always provide an activity. And here's a coloring book, Jim. You know, it's like in Europe, it's like, no, you just do what we do. We're going to the store. You want to go to the store? We're going to the store.
Yeah.
Like you just bring the kid along for the journey. I have more to say about that at another time.
That
But
could be
in
its
general,
own. That could be its own.
in general, it's just like, you know, trust your instincts. I think like dads often feel that they're dumb and they don't know, and that mom knows what she's doing. And so like I just say like, you do know what you're doing. Like trust me, it is instinctual, even the way it is for a mom.
Love that, dude.
So yeah,
Dig
enjoy.
it. Okay. Someone's going to DM you apparently in the chat. You must have said something that struck a chord.
Sure. It took me like 7 days to reply to my last DM, so I apologize if it takes me a while.
You guys
but-
reply to DMs?
Nick has his DMs turned off. Sorry, Jeff.
Jeff?
Yeah, Jeff's been trying to DM
Hook
you.
'em?
Oh yeah.
I just think any DM in Discord is a scam. It's like a trap, a booby
Think
trap.
like just by viewing the DM, you're gonna get cancer.
Yes.
So Jeff did say he might actually do a donation / what do you call it? Comment on the screen to get your attention.
Just to be
So,
like, hey, Nick,
Jeff,
read my
if you're
DM.
there, now is your chance.
I'm pretty sure
I'll
Jeff
read
and
it
I have
out for you,
exchanged
dude.
phone numbers. We could
I'll
just
read it
text.
out for you, dude.
All right, all right. Okay, let's go to our last little topic here before we go Von deeper.
Von deeper.
So Tucker was on the Joe Rogan podcast, and let's listen to one of the more popular clips here. Eric, why don't you go ahead and tee this up?
Got you.
Cares about you. You're important to the people
But if
around
we don't
you.
think people are important, then what do we think is important? I guess that's what I'm saying.
Not necessarily that we don't think people are important, but if evolution is real, and if there is this
Is it real?
constant, I don't know, but it's visible. Like you can measure it in certain animals.
You can measure adaptation.
Yeah.
But there's no evidence that in fact, I think we've kind of given up on the idea of evolution. The theory of evolution as articulated by Darwin is like kind of not
Who's
true.
we? In what sense?
Well, in the most basic sense, the idea that, all life emerged from a single cell organism and over time, and there would be a fossil record of that, and there's not. And
There's not a fossil record of transitionary species, like species that are adapting to its environment.
There's
and they
tons
develop...
of record of adaptation, and you see it in your own life. I mean, I have a lot of dogs. I see adaptation in dogs, through the litter to litter. But no, there's no evidence at all that zero, that people evolve seamlessly from a single cell amoeba. No, there's not. There's no chain in the fossil record of that at all. And that's why you don't actually hear people, you hear them make reference to evolution, because the theory of adaptation is clearly, obviously true. But Darwin's theory's totally, that's why it's still a theory almost 200 years later, No, we have not found that at all.
Is that enough?
And I can't even guess.
Come on.
That is enough.
Is this enough?
That is enough.
All right.
That is enough.
Let's stop it there.
Stop, he's already dead.
All right. So I guess the question is like, Tucker does he truly believe?
Do we want to talk about evolution at all before we talk about Tucker's motive? Or just Tucker's motive, or what's the prompt here? Like, there's so many ways.
I think we have to dispel some of that.
I want you to just rant, and then I'll just randomly try to.
You ran first.
I don't have a rant on this.
Okay,
though.
well, the
You
fact
have a
that he's
rant.
just like, we. Who the fuck is we, bro? Like, the way he takes the position of all of humanity, like, we have.
There we go.
We have not agreed on the fossil record being proof of this. Like, it's like that level of manipulation in your speech is actually world class. That's incredible.
Do you think it's convincing if you didn't agree with them and you just like listen to someone make an argument like that? Like,
so the way we all learned about this tweet, I believe a lot of people learned about this tweet, was Tim Urban, favorite blogger, favorite TED Talk, posting his and incredible book that Bilo in our community loves and talks about often, and talks about the idea of Zealot's Corner. And if you're watching right now, on one axis you have conviction, the other axis you have knowledge, you have a humility sweet spot going right up the middle at a 45-degree angle, and Zealot's Corner is where you have zero knowledge and insane conviction. And that's exactly what this MFer is.
I don't
and
know.
We talked about like the positives of like what he'd been doing, but this was just like, bro. So really quick, because I feel an opposition from you. I would love to hear this, but just really quick, fossil record. I made three notes, three reasons why this is absolute bullshit. We show a very clear progression of life from the most simple to the most complex over billions of years, and we have transitional fossils that demonstrate the evolutionary changes from that single cell organism to major groups of organisms and so on. We have genetic evidence. So, for example, we have common DNA. We often make that comment. We're 98.x% related to, fucking chimpanzees. Okay, we have that. Genetic similarity supports this common descent, which is very central to what Darwin talked about. And again, I know nothing. And my conviction is simply coming from the fact that this is scientific consensus. These are things that people have arrived at consensus over so many years. And he's like, well, it's still just a theory. Oh my God, that was such a bad remark as well. And then we have observational evidence, right? So you can observe it in real time, like in bacteria or viruses. There's emergence of like this was a really cool thing I read about to like find out like what the hell could he possibly, because my first reaction to this was find out why he's right.
Yeah.
There's no reason he's right. I tried to support his arguments in my research, and it just landed in like there's no, like I was like, what am I missing? Are we living in a flat Earth? And I didn't even know we're on a flat Earth. It was that level of bullshit.
Are you done?
What say you?
All right, so I don't fully agree with Tucker, but I think everybody is just like mercilessly dunking on him, and I think there is some nuance that is warranted here. I think it could be easy to focus on some of his words, which are literally like wrong or bad, right? Like there's like an example in this clip where he's like, I had a theory of that, like scientific theory is different than you postulating something in your head on the toilet, obviously. But on the other hand, there's like a grain of truth to what he's talking about, I think. And even someone like you, right? Like, I would argue that you are zealots cornering yourself in a particular way.
Tried to make sure I didn't, and thought about the exact same thing.
But like you are, because like the reality is that like none of us
No, you're
have
zealots
really
cornering yourself if you're talking about things out of your ass that are not scientific consensus.
Let me finish first, right? You and me and any of us who comment on this, in a sense, are talking out of our ass, because like at best we are sort of like offloading our thinking to people who we deem as like authoritative, and like we don't do the work, right? Like the reality is like nobody here is actually like a PhD biologist. Like nobody has gone through the depths of research to actually fully understand this. Like most people are like, they learn something, like they're told something from an authority figure about like this is scientific consensus, and they go, okay, and then they just dunk on people who go against that. So like I'm trying to have like a little bit more of a measured take. Like there are interesting, like evolution is definitely not like, it's not a scientific law, right? It's not like I can throw a ball in the air and I can calculate like exactly when it's going to hit the ground, right? And yes, it is a theory, and theories they're fairly solid, right? So I am not discounting evolution at all, but like I think people have pointed out interesting criticisms in it. I think the idea, like, have you ever heard of the idea of like irreducible complexity?
I haven't.
Like evolution is sort of this idea of like there's this like incremental change, right? It's just like an animal's this.
Think about
and then,
natural
like,
selection.
He
There's variability.
just keeps
and
kind
then-
of tweaking shit, and you
Yeah.
get here. But like, but there are certain. I think the eye is commonly cited, right? It's like, it's not like you can like sort of like incrementally evolve the eye. Like there are like these uber complex structures where if like one thing isn't right, then the whole structure doesn't work. So people are like, well, how did that happen? And of course there are counters to that as well, right? Like, but like, I think a lot of people have like a knee-jerk reaction to the Tucker stuff, because if you don't believe in evolution, then there's this like idea that there is some sort of design involved,
right?
And then a lot of people go like, oh, you're saying it's God. I don't like that. I don't believe in God.
That's what he said.
Yes, but you look. We could like make up this weird scenario.
He
like,
said God created us.
but you could be wildly wrong, and he could be wildly wrong, right? Like imagine a scenario where there's some far off like advanced race, and they're just like they like literally know how to make DNA and shit, and they like made some stuff, and it like ended up on Earth, and then it like turned into this like it was designed, but it was by aliens, right? So it's not. It's kind of intelligent design, but it's not like God. It's like some aliens like did some shit and it ended up on Earth, right?
We cannot. Okay, I think what you're doing is intellectually conflicting. You're trying to illustrate that what Tucker did is that there's nuance in even something as complex as our foundational belief and understanding and consensus around evolutionary theory.
I do think.
Okay,
I think
I'm
there
with
is
you.
nuance, yeah.
But you can't do that with this take. And the reason you can't do that with this take is because he was very clear with his intentions. He came out with this like over the top confidence. He bashed any consent. We don't think that. Like we don't know that. We don't know any of that. He just took, and then Joe's like, what do you mean? Like, what, sorry, like, what about the fossil record? And he was just like, no to everything. It was all created by God. He was obviously posturing, and he was obviously signaling to a base of people. And so then the question becomes, is Tucker just really stupid? Or is he acting is the better question. Is he acting, and is he appeasing tribalism?
I just reject these two.
If you want to have a
decision
real
points.
conversation about evolutionary theory, we're both way out of our league.
Of
But what I would
course,
say
but,
to
like,
that, and I said that as well. I said that up front.
Yes.
I said that up front. But we can't just dismiss everything about science all the time. Like we can't just take it to that level of like we have enough people that have looked at this that are way smarter than us, that it's their life's mission to look at this and are saying because of this X, Y, Z alpha reason, This is as clear as day. Is the strongest theory that
you
we
are
have.
appealing to authority, though.
No. That's not appealing to authority.
It is literally the
That's
appeal
not
to
appealing to authority.
fallacy.
I am appealing to
You
my
have to-
superior people in their realm.
That is
That's
literally
not,
that is literally
No.
what the appeal
No,
to
that's not
authority
authority.
fallacy
Authority
is.
is the government telling me what to believe.
Like if we were to put
Hang
the appeal to authority
Appeal to
fallacy
authority? Okay.
on Wikipedia,
Dude,
that's what it would say.
Are you gonna go and commit? Listen, you have in one hand you have the person that has committed their life to this biology and this evolution.
I'm not even saying I
No.
disagree with you. I'm just saying like that is.
Hold
what,
on. I just want to illustrate how important it is to appeal to your superiors at a certain point. You have to give it up to your superiors at a certain point. Domain knowledge and domain expertise at a certain point, you have to go like, this person just knows more than me. This person knows way more than me. I have to give them the credit.
Every single thing you are saying right now, people said to me during peak COVID, and it was fucking wrong, right?
No,
so
that's
it's just
different.
Like, no,
That's
it is
different.
the exact
This
same
is hundreds
thing.
of years. It's not the same
People
thing.
are like, these people are experts. They have devoted everything to it,
That's
and you
not
should
the same.
listen to them.
That's not the
It
same.
is the same.
Like,
COVID
appealing
was
to-
a brand
I'm
new
not saying he's
thing.
right.
No.
But like, you can't just be like.
But appealing to authority isn't inherently wrong. Like there are
not.
people who are authoritative and are
No,
more right
appeal
than
to
a random.
authority fallacy just states that like you cannot like win an argument by just pointing to somebody who's a so and so like so-called authority, and that like that's it. Like we still have to be able to like evaluate things.
And
on
I
the
don't think
merits
Armand
of
was
the
appealing to
claims
authority.
and-
He was like appealing to like all the evidence.
That's
that we
literally what
show.
he's saying. He's saying like we are in the presence of these people who have devoted their life to this. Blah,
The
blah, blah.
problem
Like,
with your argument is I think that you actually agree with what we're saying, but we also agree with what you're saying. You're just simply saying that just because there's authority figures and there's a scientific consensus doesn't mean we shouldn't explore alternative theories. We're with you, bro. But that doesn't mean you can do this with something as fundamental as this and have that level of conviction about it. You can't dismiss it like it was
Some of
false.
the things he's saying are literally true. It's like, did they matter? Maybe not. Like evolution is like this process that happened over 3 billion years, for example. It might be true that there's not a fossil record going from single-celled organism to but also it's like, what are you gonna have, like a 2 billion year old fossil? Like, so there's like some.
But the part that I don't like about this entire thing is that this whole like Tucker situation is a semantic argument, and we have a knack, like even off air, to get into these semantic arguments that I don't think are that valuable. But like the semantic argument that Tucker was bringing up is like adaptation for sure, evolution no, and it's
right.
like, well, we were actually just talking about the same thing there. You know, I think the
Yeah,
beginning
natural selection is
like
There is a like in the clip he's specifically talking about going from single cell to humans,
Right, and nobody-
there are people who are like, we didn't come from apes, which I think is a different thing.
Right, but like, okay, so
There's all sorts of layers. There's all
nobody
sorts of layers
knows.
to this.
Let's be honest. Nobody, no matter your authority, knows where it began, right? But we do know that the adaptation. He agrees. He says adaptation is for sure a thing, like evolution. Same. So like, I think this whole argument is fucking bothering me.
I know that Tucker is effectively wrong, but what bothers me about it is that everybody is sort of like dunking on him, but they're really just doing the same thing he's doing, which is that they have this like higher authority that they believe is true, and they appeal to it. And in reality, neither party can really explain
Couldn't
or
agree
understand
with
what's
you more
going
on that point.
Yeah.
Don't put me in that bucket because that's not what I'm doing. And you know that. And I think that there's two different arguments happening at the same time. One is, as Eric is illustrating, the semantic argument. The other is like, if you want to argue that there's room for argument, sure. But the way he did it, no. First of all, the guy's a goddamn TV anchor. Why do we even care what he has to say?
I don't.
Right? We don't care what he has to say. What I think it illustrates is like, the deeper question is like, this level of conviction with people today is so concerning. Like how strong they can be about these counter takes or even proposing ideas that are just like nonsense that is causing the confusion that we see in the world today. Everyone is like at odds with what reality even is. Now we want to even question where we come from? I thought that we mostly, for the most part, agreed on that. Nothing is agreed upon
As
anymore.
long as you change the word from evolution to
Yeah.
adaptation.
We don't agree on anything anymore.
Don't you think though it's a little like this is probably like a 4.5 hour conversation. This is
For
like
sure.
a minute, and they're just talking. Like, isn't it possible? Like, he just said some things, and if he was here in the room right now, he'd be like, "Yeah, you know what? Actually, I probably like."
Yeah, he
went a
probably
little
goes on
overboard
other
that."
shows and talks about the
Yeah.
dinosaur fossils were put there to question your belief in God. That were put there by the devil. That's what they're saying.
No,
in,
but there's a
in
difference
religious
between
circles.
somebody who's like their entire personality is pushing like a narrative and everything versus like you had a 4-hour conversation with Joe Rogan and like this is a clip that came out.
Right,
of
he's
it,
probably drinking
you know?
whiskey, having a good time. He probably doesn't
like
give
maybe,
a fuck.
Like maybe he's just like, yeah, actually that was like stupid. Sorry.
Probably.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Like maybe.
And we're worried about it.
Wait, can you put the
You
can
want
put
this
the
one
Joe
up?
Rogan thing up?
Yeah.
Have you guys seen this? This is my favorite thing ever, Joe Rogan.
You want to read it out?
Yeah. So this is a post for some forum from like 2020. It says, Joe Rogan is like some barbarian Khan from the steppes that took an interest in intellectual things, and his show is basically him bringing slightly nervous scholars and magicians to come before him to explain how the world works. Glasses man, you explain to Joe why sky big and how tree grow, but he will also believe almost anything you tell him, and only recently does he clap back like, tiny hat man say otherwise. Do you lie to Joe? Tiny hat man say fat not bad for you, that sugar is enemy, so which is truth? Joe thinks you are wrong. And the people just nervously go, ha ha ha, yeah, I guess so.
See, this is funny.
The last part's funny.
This is actually.
Hold on, read the last part.
Joe spent many moons on horseback and training with bow and sword, but Joe also wonder why skyfire arise from mountains every morning. You will explain this to Joe.
Okay.
So I get.
Hold on. This is funny.
Exactly. I
This
wanted
is
to defend him.
This is funny, and I will immediately say Joe is a very smart man,
Yes, I agree.
and I disagree with this.
But
I
it's
think-
funny because it's kind of true.
I think he likes to
No,
have
he
guests
looks
on.
like this.
I think he likes to have guests on and not just go direct conflict all the time. Like just like
Yes.
whatever you want to go with, man. I'll
Well,
roll
he's
with.
not
Yeah,
there to
just
be the journalist.
Yeah. But I love this. This is so good.
No, it's very funny, but Joe is underrated smart.
I love Joe. I love Joe.
He's a very smart man.
I do. I think he's a good dude. But also, this is funny because there's like just there's something like oh yeah about it.
That's pretty good.
Anyway,
Steven's favorite meme of Joe of all time.
All right, I threw out a
Yes.
prompt that maybe we need an around the horn style point system, like a Tony Reale point system for the
Okay.
crowd to
All right. Shit.
upvote, especially during these moments where you guys get heated and just
I
like,
already
the
brought a
crowd
lot of
can
heat. I don't know how
upvote,
much
downvote.
left I have.
Yeah.
I gotta read out a donation we received from Jeff.
Oh, what does it say?
Oh yes.
Hit me up, Nick.
was that our first ever super chat?
Super chat. It works.
Is it a super chat?
Our first
Give
super
an
chat
NFT
ever.
for
Yo,
that.
hit us on the super chat.
I think
people.
Rectum holds the record for first super chat.
Yeah, those are the Streamlabs versions. They still exist, but
No, he hit us in an actual super chat, and then
Oh.
AdSense immediately
done super chat
immediately
since.
shut down the
Oh,
monetization
yeah.
after that.
Sorry, Rectum. Yeah, you hold the title still.
We're getting super chat going again.
All right, Jeff.
What's the minimum
Noted.
on super chat? $1?
$1.99,
Jeff gave
baby.
$2, so
Is that okay?
probably something like that.
It's perfect.
That's like
Send-
that's deep value, right?
we will
there.
we will
That's too
read
much
them
value.
until we can't read them anymore, and we'll up the price.
That's too
And
value. Somebody's gonna
just send
spam,
them in, guys.
Somebody's gonna spam the network.
Send them in.
We need higher fees.
All right, let's pay some bills real quick. Let's give a shout out to Magic Spoon. So check out magicspoon.com/alfalfa and have Steven's favorite cereal. It's a high protein cereal, 0 grams of sugar. They have 4 flavors in the variety pack: cocoa, fruity, frosted, and peanut butter. There's 140 calories per serving. Beyond having the 0 grams of sugar, it has 13 to 14 grams of protein, I think, and 4 to 5 grams of net carbs. Grain-free, soy-free. So check out a variety pack. All of them taste as good or better than your favorite childhood cereals, which is why they're stacked in Steven's cupboard. Go to magicspoon.com/alfalfa to grab a variety pack. Save $5 and support the pod if
Don't
you like.
forget about the Magic Spoon with Greek yogurt special.
Combo.
Oh, Alpha.
Double
I
the
haven't heard about
protein
that
for
one.
Is that
double
your
the fun.
high tea formula?
Yeah.
It's trading fuel, baby.
That's beard fuel for Armand. Well, anyway, thanks Magic Spoon for supporting the pod.
Thank you.
Okay, Von Deeper time. So we've had a topic
Settle in, boys.
that we've talked about quite a bit on our own, and it's come up a lot. We live in San Diego, which happens to be the number
expensive city in
one
America.
most expensive city in America, according to U.S. News and World Reports.
We are winning.
Yeah, winning in something.
We're number one.
Yeah.
We're number one.
And so we've talked about potentially moving. And so this tweet kind of like just gets those feelings going.
God,
so
stop.
This guy Rohin Dar
Stop.
shows a tweet: 5-bedroom house with pool for sale in Bamberg, South Carolina.
This house looks fucking dope.
On a 1.5 acre
1.5
lot with
I have to Google
topiary.
Bamberg.
What is a topiary?
I don't know. My condo doesn't have topiary.
Why is there a dead mouse shrub in
What's
the
a
front yard?
topiary?
On the market for 2 days, listed at $372,000,
Guys,
not
it's
Bitcoin.
4,600 square feet.
4,600?
So in San Diego, I think like the rule of like a little over $1,000 a square foot is kind of a rule, and that's
Right.
not having an acre and a half.
Right.
So this, if it didn't have the backyard, it would probably be about 4.6 to $5 million.
$5 million, and here we go,
Definitely.
$370,000. What state is this in again?
South
South
Carolina,
Carolina.
sir.
All right. Fun fact. I want an over/under. What is
Okay.
the population of Bamberg, South Carolina?
Ooh.
Okay, and can I also ask, what is the closest city? I don't even know where.
I don't
It's
know
like-
that.
yeah.
That's too much information.
No,
That's
I
too
think
much
this is. I
information?
think this is good because like if Bamberg is like a suburb of Charleston, then
Yeah.
that's pretty rad.
Okay, I'm
No,
gonna
I
say
need to know that
under-
there's a city
Wait.
nearby or no city nearby.
Have you ever heard of the poker game? There's a poker game that used to be played called Loudon Thinks, where people would bet on what another person thinks about a thing as a way to pass time at the table.
No.
Yeah, it's actually a very fun game.
Okay.
Like you just throw out something like, "What is the population of Bamberg, South Carolina?" And Nick will go like 5,000. Eric will go 10,000. You'll go 20,000, and Nick will be like,
Okay, let's play.
Under.
Let's play right now.
"All right, ready?
All right.
Open
Okay.
bidding."
90,000.
I'm gonna say 30,000
No, you have to go up or under.
under.
Its prices are under. Yeah, that was a weird opening bid. The population is 3,600.
What?
Eric
I
is
was
the winner.
way under. No, hey, I didn't get a chance to
No,
bid.
no. He. It's like Price is Right, man. You just
What?
like, bam.
You didn't
So wait,
state
do I
the
owe him
rules
money now?
clearly.
Yeah, you owe him money.
So
I was gonna say like 10,000.
That's it.
Nick
That's the
Nick
game.
should have started with $1.
We're gonna play this later. Actually,
Yeah, I like this game.
This is actually a really fun game.
Yeah, I
where
like
you
this.
Get a couple
I
drinks.
will
in
learn
you.
the
Read the
game.
T's and
Yeah.
C's next time.
You didn't explain
You
the
didn't.
T's and C's very
You
well.
Look,
No,
I'm just trying to keep the show moving.
No.
Yeah, that's a good out, dude.
All right, boys. So are we moving? Because like I think all four of us could just retire.
Armand,
in
how
a
do you feel about
city like that.
population 3,500?
Seems low.
That's a terrible place.
Seems low.
Yeah,
It's
I
a
wouldn't do
terrible
it.
place.
Wouldn't do it
So one of the things we do often discuss is like
372K though.
by a
on,
few of those bad
on,
boys.
on one hand, you can be done. Like,
Done. Finished.
done.
Forever.
Free, and every dollar you make can supply your lifestyle and go toward more wealth and more abundance.
We just take walks in
On
the
the
acre and a
other
half
hand,
backyard. It's so great.
on the other hand, you have avocados. You have
That's your hold on. That's your
juniper.
first thing for saying San
Yeah.
Diego is avocados.
fresh Mexican avocados.
Yeah.
You have juniper and ivy. You have
Can you
delicious.
grab my beer, Nick?
You have
Thank you.
delicious restaurants. You have people with a certain type of mindset. You have all of these things that come with being in certain cities that, as an individual, you might be sort of like most accustomed to or desiring.
These
of,
poor
right?
Bamberg citizens are probably like, we have avocados.
But that's the thing. No, that's not true. Like, it's actually not true. Like, I've
They
talked
don't
to
have
my friend-
avocados in Bamberg?
I've talked to my friend Kyle about no. So this is one of the reasons. Like,
Avocados are a treat, man.
no, so Kyle,
I think they
my
probably
friend
have
Kyle, hold on, looked at Nick knows Kyle. He's the trainer that blew up, super jacked, and
He
blew up on
YouTube
YouTube
and stopped training us.
and stopped training us.
He
fired
turned you.
us.
He turned you from asparagus body into the
it goes.
beard.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you remember.
Yeah.
So Kyle lives in San Diego, and his brother lives in Idaho, and it's a small town. I think it's like 10,000 people, and he visits him at least once a year. And he has very seriously considered. He up until recently was getting ready to move to Idaho. He took a recent trip to really go and decide, like, can we live here? He came back. This was toward the end of our training together, and he was like, "Dude, I can't do it. First of all, it's fucking freezing.
Yeah.
Like
Winter's
for
freezing.
half the year." He's
Yeah.
like, "Dude, I'm a bitch. I live in San Diego. I can go for a run year round. 67 degrees is like as bad as it gets." And then he's like, dude, then there's the food. You know how I eat. I eat these like great, delicious vegetables.
Hold
He's like,
on.
I can't even get a hold.
I thought he eats 2 carne asada burritos a day.
No, he cheat meals like once a week. But he's
Okay.
like, dude, you can't get your hands on like basic things that you would normally get your hands on here. It's like it's either in season or it's out. And so here we're accustomed to in major cities. Oh, you want mango? Mango available.
Mango.
Always mango. Always avocado. So all these things that you don't think about. And then he's like, he's like, people are very nice. Life is much slower. You know, people carry their guns and they look out for each other and they're very neighborly. But like, what kind of people do you want to be around? And one of the things I often think about is like, are the people that you're around, not that this is the case in every place that's not San Diego, but like there's a lot of people with like a certain type of mindset here. And you're attracted to people of the same mindset. And so like, Nick, if you went around Bamberg, South Carolina and walked around, I think I already know your answer, but if you went around and walked around your 1.5 acre property with your topiary, let me know what that means, by the way.
Like it's a topiary.
What is a
Would you
topiary?
be happy?
Hold on, I'm Googling
And that's like,
it.
I'm just trying to set a baseline for the overall discussion that we often have.
You could use the extra $1 grillion, have some freeze-dried tomatoes and meat brought in. I think that problem would solve itself. But yeah, I mean, the finding like-minded people is probably the most important. Like in my list, you know, proximity to family and friends is kind of the main needle mover. And okay, in a town full of 3,500, but like maybe a town full of like 300,000, you could find other business owners, even if they're not in the same, you know, line of business you are. People who are ambitious, growth-oriented, you know, want to improve themselves. Like I think you could find that in that pool.
I bet you'd be the only e-commerce.
That's fine. Might even be better.
Yeah, I'd prefer that actually.
Hate those scumbags.
There's so many factors though.
Well, I mean, what if we all just had like a pact to go move here? Would we be unhappy?
So if you could actually coordinate such a thing, then I think that's kind of interesting.
Richest one has to buy the other 3 houses. So I mean
that's
cheaper.
not that bad actually. That's still less than the cost of any house I want here. You know?
I mean, I was thinking about this a lot when I was abroad in Portugal. Like Portugal's kind of cheap, all things considered, and then pretty good tax rate if you renounce your citizenship. So
no one's doing that.
Yeah, that's a pretty high hurdle.
But it's like fucked because if you don't do it, you have to keep paying taxes for like 10 years, even if you.
Yeah.
I haven't
leave.
met many Americans that have ever done that.
Actually, no. If you renounce, you still have to pay tax for 10 years, right?
I don't know.
God.
Yeah,
are you
I think that's
kidding
the
me?
rule. Like, if you renounce, you still have to pay for 10 years. Otherwise, like,
Okay.
you can be arrested.
These
if you ever
roads
come
don't
back
pay
to the country.
themselves,
So for that reason, I'm out.
I know.
That
It's
doesn't
fucked.
make any sense.
But I think about this a lot. Like, what if you had like a yard and you just like, yeah, I see this on the Carnivore Aurelius all the time. Just gets like some like hot blonde woman in a bikini holding like 6 babies, and there's like some sheep and
That
cattle
could
in the
be you.
background, and you're just like, eh. I mean, I would need there to be pickleball.
The amount of tanning privacy you would have here, Armand, is unrivaled.
No, it is unrivaled. I do think there's a lot of so the amount of joy that a person can receive from not having the stress of finances and not having the stress of like survival as a whole and knowing you can provide is really incredible. Like to be fully free and to know that for the rest of your life, like this is your property, you own this, you're committing to this city. Like that's nice.
You would go fucking crazy. First of all,
I would.
I know you would.
Would you though? What if this place is
Oh.
right next to an airport?
No, first of all, it isn't.
I would go absolutely crazy.
I know
What
it.
if it was?
I know it isn't because look at this photo on this house. The hobby is grooming their hedges. Look at this fucking hedge
Yeah.
in
By
front
the way,
of the home.
that is what a topiary is, in case anybody's wondering.
The topiary is this fucking.
It's like an
Is
area
the
where you
dead
groom
mouse?
plants into
It's a fucking
particular
dead
shapes.
mouse.
It's a dead mouse
It
hedge.
is definitely a dead mouse hedge.
Okay,
It's a
so
confirmed dead mouse hedge.
here's why I know that Armand would hate this because that becomes your fucking joy in life is just like tending to your topiary.
But haven't we as humans been happy with this like basically for all of our existence? Isn't it only in like the last like couple decades, like just 0.00001% of our existence?
Well,
we're like,
hold on.
No, we can't live like this. We have to have.
No, if anything, we've actually lived closer together in tribes before that. So it's like
Right. So what if we all just like move out as a tribe?
So I agree with you. I agree with that, like that broad statement. But like, here's something that I've thought about. It's like I recognize what we have here, and I mean that surface level and
California
deep.
burritos.
I mean that surface level and deep. Like on the surface level, we have the avocados, we have the beautiful weather and everything, and I also mean on a deep level, like we have each other. We have like this podcast. We have like this vehicle to like talk about deep things that I know is super rare. And like I've lived internationally. I've lived on both coasts. I've lived in multiple cities in California, and
you lived in Australia.
I've lived in Australia. I've lived
Canada
in a lot of different places.
Dude, it's insanely rare.
What I know is that I can live anywhere, but like what I value is here.
But could you find yourself like, okay, the first year gonna be brutal, right? You have no friends, but like you're kind of a chameleon when it comes out to being in social circles. You make friends with anyone. Could you find yourself making good enough relationships? You know,
I've done it.
over time, like
I've done it, and I've made friends in other places, of course. But like what we
I
have
would
is
totally adapt as well and
But-
make friends, but I would be miserable for multiple reasons. One, first of all, don't underestimate weather.
I agree with that.
Like it completely changes you. We are insanely spoiled in California, but specifically in Southern California, and even specifically even better than LA. Like, first of all, LA is kind of rough, right? Some people think it's a shithole. I think there are nice areas, but in general, San Diego is like this gem, and it has the best weather in the world. I mean, probably the only place there's only a few places that come close to it in terms of weather.
I mean,
so that affects your mood. My point is this: your mood and your general disposition when you wake up and you go after the day is everything. Everything. I remember when we had like a few rainy days. As soon as you have that contrast, you start to experience like, you know, your mood changes. You're just like, this is rough and whatever. It's cold tonight. I had to turn on the heater. We're like spoiled ass bitches, and yet it even affects us at that level. Imagine being in South Carolina. Imagine being in Idaho. Imagine 6 months out of the year in Minnesota, just frozen. There's so many people that do this. That's the tax that I pay through cost of living and state taxes to be in a place that comes with that weather. Then you put weather aside and you have what kind of people does it attract? The reason I love San Diego in particular, and this isn't meant to be an ad for San Diego, but this is why I selected San Diego, is like I'm in California, which is a very liberal state, but this is actually a more conservative area. So it's very moderate. San Diego is like this extremely moderate city amongst all the cities. And so I think at the end of the day, it votes Democrat, but still, it's like more purple than any other city that I've been to compared to like, I don't know, New York, Miami, LA. So I love that. I love those factors, many other factors, California burritos, all those things as well.
Okay, but this house in La Jolla is legitimately $5 million.
Minimum.
Yeah, more.
Without the yard. Without the yard.
Versus $372K.
So they're offering you $4.7 million to give up your weather, and not to say that the vibe says the weather in South Carolina, pretty nice.
That's an interesting way to frame it. Like if I just gave you $5 million cash, you wouldn't leave.
But then also your just time and anxiety levels, like you'd be like, well, I kind of already have enough Bitcoin to live in South Carolina.
If you gave me the house,
it's actually more than
and
$5
the
million
life,
cash because I'm not just giving you the diff in the house. I'm also giving you a lifetime of. It's probably like the equivalent of if I gave you like $12 million of present day cash.
Listen, you have to also have a jet.
What?
If you have a jet, first of all, proximity to family, proximity to friends, proximity to the ability to like meet up with people. If you also have a jet and you're within like a few hours of seeing the people you care about, Done. I'm doing it.
Does
we were just talking about downgrading our lifestyle to Bamberg, South Carolina. Now you're talking about having a jet?
Yes, you said that the equivalent is like I get the house and I get all these things, but if I can't see people I care about and I can't get to the places I
For
care about,
$12
I'm out.
million, you might be able to get like a super light jet. Or
does
something.
the metaverse change anything here?
I like at an airport.
So
that.
that is an interesting question.
Does the metaverse change anything?
Does
here?
this conversation change in 5 to 10 years because it doesn't matter where you live? Because we're all in the metaverse.
Oh, and here's
we're all in
here's
Apple Vision
Bamberg
Pro
County
world.
Airport for
That'll fit your
Armand's
jet, sir.
For Armand's jet.
I can't believe they have an airport. Like wow, look at that. That is a hell of a building right there.
What's the closest city?
Looks like a pickleball court in that top left one. What is that?
That honestly, that was the main reason I couldn't live in
Colombia.
Spain is they didn't play pickleball.
In Augusta.
Augusta. Charleston.
Like Augusta,
Oh,
Georgia?
Charleston. Oh,
Charleston.
dude, you're in the Tri-City area, whatever that is for South
Charleston
Carolina.
and Columbia.
You just made that
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
I like that.
Wait, how far is it to Charleston?
Probably several hours.
Several's a lot.
Yeah, I actually want
But in the future, if you had like an electric kind of like helicopter that you could just zip over in, like a personal
That's not bad.
helicopter deal.
So you're an hour and a half from
Pretty sick.
Charleston. And you can buy a home for $372,000.
That's a lot. You're never going to Charleston.
Yeah, an hour and a half is
No,
like
you go there to go to the airport.
Yeah, an hour and a half is you don't go.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
You're never going.
You're going to
That is
but to
deep,
travel.
That is
internationally.
deep South Carolina. There's some shit going on there for sure.
Oh, that's deep.
That's deep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think what it's going to take is one of us to just go.
There have
and
been
just,
lynchings nearby.
Fuck, you don't know that.
I'll be honest. So I don't know. I don't know about.
Outrageous call.
I don't know.
I
About,
mean,
I don't
ever?
know about that.
Just don't even move your goal.
Yeah,
forward.
that's a
Let's
weird.
just- let's
That's a
just-
weird
let's just
thing.
Leave that on the table. And
I was
going
to talk about Kyle's brother because I've been
Yeah.
through Idaho quite a bit. It's like on the way to Wyoming, and I think Idaho is like kind of a hidden
Yeah,
gem.
like I want. Let's redirect the conversation. Obviously, we don't want to live in Bamberg.
Right.
Do we really think San Diego is like the efficient frontier of like lifestyle and cost?
It can't be.
It can't be. It's
It's a
so
great
fucking
question.
expensive.
It's a great question.
What is the efficient frontier? If not Bamberg, like, is there a place that's like a little worse weather, but it's like infinitely
But does it come
cheaper?
with the things that we've discussed, and which of them?
So-
like, does it come with the Alfalfa podcast continues?
Yes, assume we all go together.
Yes, we all have to go as a pact, obviously.
Yeah.
We gotta
That
keep
changes
the-
a
keep the
lot
gang
of
together.
things.
It
There are
does.
many places.
I feel like we could live almost anywhere if we just had. The
No, but I
gang.
still want like this efficient. It checks most of the boxes kind of place.
So the efficient frontier, just so we're clear, is a finance term that describes like many different assets, like some that are like riskier with higher returns and some that are lower risk with lower
curve, right?
returns. So it's kind of a curve. And I do think San Diego exists on the efficient frontier on the more expensive side of the
Yes.
efficient frontier. Because like to me, I've been all over the world, and San Diego like suits
Dude, there's
my
so many.
needs.
There's so many boxes for me.
Wait, I wanna-
Amazon deliveries within 1 to 2 days. Major airport within
But
1
as
hour.
Tucker said, you will adapt. You will
No,
adapt.
You gotta have because don't you still want to see the world?
I want
Yeah,
to.
you can still go to.
I
the
want to.
airport.
I want to know what the chat thinks. I want you to drop your
right, well, the
most
chat's been
efficient,
talking.
efficient places to like. What is the best place?
Alright,
there are
so-
certain
so-
places like I would love
is
to
the
be in
golden
Jackson,
pocket?
but then the problem with Jackson is like I don't know how much money you're actually saving.
So like in my
I don't think you're saving any.
I want to get to that point, but like in my finance game, I know that markets are like not perfectly efficient. So like what I look for are investments that are above the efficient frontier. So like what's like the deep value location?
Okay, Spain.
It's not in the U.S.
Spain was like the closest I've ever felt to that. I was like, it's cheap as fuck. Everybody's chill. They don't have pickle, but they do have padel. So
Bro, have you been to Amsterdam?
bonus points. Is Amsterdam cheap?
Have you been?
No, but I hear the people are a little more somber than the Spaniards.
No. No way.
What the Dutch?
They're
No,
somber?
They're like they ride bikes around in the rain all like how happy could they be?
No,
That
dude.
is a sad
That's the
sort of
Dutch is
video.
like
The
the
Spaniards
most.
don't even work. They don't even work. They just wake up. They dip some churros and chocolate.
Yeah, they
eat
take
some
naps
coffee,
every day.
The Dutch are
nap,
awesome.
was
Very
napping.
different. Very different culture. It's almost more
But
American.
Amsterdam weather is shit compared to Spain.
What? No.
What?
Depends on where in Spain. Spain's a huge country.
Okay, like that's like the most ideal.
Am I in like, you know,
Barcelona?
Holy Barcelona!
Wow.
So Barcelona,
Nice.
even Barcelona weather doesn't touch San Diego weather, by the way, but it's still very good there. It's more
But
hot
San Diego
and more
is
cold.
like the best.
Yeah.
But there are
Like
other
San Diego,
cities.
Portugal.
Same longitude.
There's got to be
close.
other cities on the same latitude,
I mean, Harris
longitude, whatever
in
it
the
is.
Alfalfa community, and one of my good friends like lives in Barcelona, has lived there for years, originally from Sweden. Loves it. You know, there's tax benefits to living in Spain. Before that, he was living in why am I blanking on that island's name? Damn, it'll come to me.
Can I get the chat involved a little bit? So, Vibes saying Boise, I think, was the most moved to city in the last year or two. Used to be Denver. Montana would be dope if you're into that lifestyle. Josh Crawford says Western Montana is awesome unless you hate winter.
Hates winter.
Said, don't worry about the Wi-Fi. You Gucci. If not, you call Elon and get that Starlink. And he also mentioned you will adapt.
Yes,
Tyler
you
mentioned
will
humidity is
adapt.
low and non-existent in Sacramento, which we're both from, and we know there's areas of Sacramento.
What
Sacramento's
did
kind
he
of
say?
free, right?
What's that?
What did he say?
Humidity is low or non-existent in Sacramento.
That's true. It's just 110 degrees for like a month.
You will adapt.
The old dry heat.
I don't.
What,
adapt.
okay, what? I mean, there is a
I'm
number. There is a
optimizing.
price.
I'm not adapting.
But there
I
is a
want the
price you will
best.
pay for like a few months of 110 degree weather.
I would have paid it. I'm not living
Nah,
in
there's a
110
number.
degrees.
There's a number.
Well, you guys,
You think the price here is fair?
Yes, for what I'm getting.
so you guys haven't returned to Sacramento. You're from there.
Can't do it.
I think you've already made the
Dude,
choice.
the amount of pressure to move back to San Diego, I mean to Sacramento, haven't done it. Not happening. Out of the question.
Interesting. See, I feel like I don't leave because San Diego is so amazing. It's because like I'm like pot committed to all my friendships and stuff.
Yeah.
How's the swamp?
Not a lot going on there. Very cheap though.
I bet. Can you
My
imagine?
dad wants to like he bought this like land adjacent to the swamp, like lakefront, swampfront
You
property.
just tossed a coin at the county record. They're like, this is now your land.
I swear to God, he bought like 2 acres off this guy. Like, this guy owned this land, and he could only get to the land. It's like a peninsula by driving through my dad's yard. So my dad's like, "Looks like I got you by the balls, huh?" And the guy's like, "Touche." Now, I'm pretty sure
Neighbor swamp games.
he sold him like 4 acres of 270-degree waterfront property for like $6,000.
Waterfront? Do you mean next to the swamp?
Swampfront.
and not-
Okay, so one corner of it is the swamp, but the rest of it is. It's not a lake, but it's definitely a pond.
Okay, okay.
It's definitely a pond.
Lake-ish.
Stump Pond.
Oh my god.
Stump Pond is a real pond. You can take a boat out. You can fish. There's lily pads.
Okay, I like that
Oh
actually.
my
I'm into
God.
that.
There's a lot of bluegills. There's a lot of bluegills.
I like fishing.
It's not that bad. Like if I just airdropped you there in an Airbnb and told you it was some like thing in Tahoe, you'd be like, okay, yeah, it seems reasonable.
Yeah.
And then when I showed you where you were, you would cry, obviously. But like for a moment, you would be. But like he's like, do you want to move back there? Do you want to be? I'm gonna give this to you. It's just like free lake, like basically free lakefront house.
Ooh, I'm a big lakefront guy now.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, pond front. Pond
Well,
front house.
He just downgraded you.
It's semantics, but like I was looking in North Carolina because that's where Mina's family is, and you can get good lakefront property there for very reasonable prices. And her sister and brother-in-law just bought a lakefront home that's probably similar size for $700K.
I like the lake lifestyle.
I love
can
lake
get behind
lifestyle.
the lake lifestyle.
Yeah, lake life.
There is a better buy than San Diego. Like this.
There has to be. There's no way this is optimal.
All it takes. Okay, so let's be honest. We all agree. We go back home. We all 4 get shut down immediately. So all it takes is one person to convince their significant other. You go buy a massive home, affordably priced in said other city, and then we come visit, and they're like, "This is kind of nice."
No, I don't think
Lakefront?
getting it to happen is the hard part. I think actually the answer is the hard part of where. Like, show me a place that checks the boxes to the level that this place does that's worth the discount.
Utah.
St. George.
I love Utah. I think Utah's underrated.
I kind of think it might be Utah.
I think there's like a discount on the religious component that I
No,
actually
no.
think
You
is.
get a
but they
job
have an
managing their
amazing
billions
pickleball
of dollars
scene.
of the Mormon Church.
I think the religious component is an upside. Those people are so fucking nice.
They're so nice. They're
and every
very
time I've
pleasant
been
to be around.
dude,
I don't
every
know why
time
they
I've
get so
been
much
there,
hate.
I've been blown away.
Nature. You got nature. You
Nature.
got golf.
Great nature.
Nature.
Golf. You get a yard. Like the thought that like I could just go outside and my dog can I can just throw the ball as far as I can throw it and I can watch him go zoom. This makes me so happy. Right now the poor guy
There
is
you go,
just running up
priceless.
and down the driveway. He just yearns to be free, you know.
Don't we all?
Getting alcohol in Utah is annoying, says Tyler. That is a
That
fact.
is true, but like it's not like an insurmountable obstacle. I feel like.
I was kind of
And
like
maybe it would even be good for you.
I thought that like the alcohol situation was overblown. Every time I've been there, I was like, oh, it's pretty normal.
I classified it as like mildly annoying. It's
Yeah.
annoying, but it's not
Can be.
like a deal breaker.
I want proximity,
I think
family,
this is
and friends.
all fantasy talk.
No, it's
It's all
not.
fantasy talk. You think we're just stuck here? We're never leaving?
You think we're just like
I actually do.
masturbatory-ish conversation?
I think it's a masturbatory conversation.
Wow.
I think it's a conversation I want to have. I've proposed the conversation many times myself, but I cannot get past the
What if I
hurdles.
came to you with a spreadsheet?
like
And
just,
an
here's
average
what's
weighting
funny.
by city.
I just don't think that anyone here is serious about being a Utah resident for the rest of their life. Like, you're going to move to Utah.
Yeah.
Again, sorry if you're out there and you live in Utah, but like, you're going to be a Utah for lifer resident. That's
If
where you're going
all
to
of
build.
my
That's where
friends
to build your
moved,
life.
I would
That's
go.
where your kids are going to grow up. It's like when they go to Paris one day and they're sitting in a bar. Where'd you grow up? Utah. Why? Because my dad thought it was a good idea.
It's above the
compared to-
efficient frontier.
What the fuck is wrong with Utah?
He was tired
Again,
of working.
I don't know. It's financial freedom. Like, there's more. It's not. I like paying the extra, unless the answer is like absolutely, like unequivocally, like that's just a no-brainer.
All right.
Why wouldn't you do that?
I want proximity to family and friends, so I need to be a direct flight to them. I want some mediocre weather. I don't need like
Oh, God.
pure
He's already,
San
he
Diego.
ran the
Spreadsheeted it.
He's got a spreadsheet.
He ran.
The cost of living has to be fucking.
Thank
an-
God one person
an,
preps.
an amazing deal. It's got to be like a screaming deal, like
Yeah.
an order of magnitude cheaper than is in San Diego. But here's the thing about that Utah may not have. I like a mixed culture. So a mixture of socioeconomic class, ethnicity, potentially nationality even.
Ooh, that's pretty hard
Like,
to find, I think.
Yeah, you're not gonna find that in Utah.
Cities.
Because it changes your attitude, the pace of life, the social norms, like
That's what I'm
the
saying about
ideas
people.
that you come across. I don't want any traffic and commuting. I need to be next to an international airport, but maybe put that lower on the totem pole. Age distribution. I don't know if that matters to you, but like, do you want to live in a city that's mostly baby boomers? You'd probably want like some kind of age distribution similar to yours.
Okay.
Access to like lifestyle things, so like restaurants, healthcare, schools.
You guys would be so
just-
miserable
he's
with
just
the level
teasing
of
us.
restaurants.
Huh?
Yeah, because he does have like three
I
three
know
that
he's
he's
got
like
I
he's
know, I know.
prepared.
Fucking
He's
list
prepared
right
like
here.
three at the end.
He's just like buttering us.
He's like West Bank, Montana.
According to the
I've looked at it on Google Earth.
If you don't have a city at the end of this, I'm gonna be
I
so
don't.
mad at
I
you.
don't. I'm
Oh
just
my
saying.
god, no. You put all the variables out, but then didn't like crunch
Didn't
them.
even like ask
I
ChatGPT.
actually, if you want to be serious, are you still going with
Well,
variables?
Nick's not
Montana's a
serious.
real
No, hold on.
place.
There is a city.
Montana's a real contender.
Montana's cool, but not Utah.
Okay,
No, Montana's better.
Weather in Utah is way better.
Steven, you're gonna find these three
More
cities:
easily accessible.
Funny.
Way better pickleball scene.
Green Bay, Wisconsin;
Green
Huntsville,
Bay,
Alabama;
wow.
and Raleigh and Durham, North Carolina.
Yeah, I'm
so
looking.
you did have.
I'm looking in.
What was your number two?
Number 2 is Huntsville, Alabama, also known as Spacetown.
Heard good things.
A great place to buy rental property.
Heard
So
good
not only
things.
can you move there rich, but then you can use your cash
Yeah.
and become a Huntsville slumlord.
And then third was
Raleigh and Durham, North Carolina.
I mean, North
He basically
Carolina-
named my girlfriend's hometown.
Everyone-
and my
I did.
sister's hometown.
And Raleigh Durham
your
is like where
wife's-
I'm already looking. So
and
I think
everyone
about
talks
Raleigh a lot
about
because-
everyone talks about North Carolina. That's like
Um,
a contender
I will.
option.
I'll like admit to this right up front. Wherever we go, like in quotes, like I'm gonna have one foot in San Diego, and like I'm gonna be very part time wherever we go.
I'm with you, brother. I'm not leaving.
I'm gonna be like I will go.
I will also do something like that, but like until I have this like slap in your face absolutely obvious you're dumb if you stay moment, I'm not leaving.
You could live in Bamberg.
I'm not
and
leaving.
Just fly JetBlue Mints everywhere, like as much as you want.
Yeah, they don't
to,
fly
and it
there. They
would
don't fly
still-
there, sir.
Yeah, Hamburg Airport.
Well, you'd have
Yeah,
to
it's not
drive
covered.
to the other airport.
None of your
but
Amex points will work in like a 100-mile radius of that city.
You could take a helicopter from the Bamberg Airport to the South Carolina.
Fuck, you could buy a
Charleston
helicopter.
Airport.
Does
Then JetBlue Mint somewhere,
technology
still-
change?
still less money.
Does technology change anything?
Right.
No.
Like,
No.
how about like the
Yes.
metaverse?
Changes
What
a
are
lot.
we gonna do? FaceTime?
Metaverse it.
Yes.
I mean, I guess we kind of did that during COVID.
What
a
if
little
this
bit.
was all
What
a
if the
simulation
Apple
right now?
Vision
Like, it
Pro
just feels.
What if the
real-
Apple
like,
Vision
it-
Pro was a pair of glasses or a contact lens, and it felt this real, and it was a sensory experience? What if it was
There's nothing
what if it
better
was
than,
like a really good video
sharing
game?
a drink with your buddies over a steak dinner.
Oh, I can't
It's
pour you
just-
a drink.
It's
Yeah.
just like the Matrix, bro. You're like, I know the steak's not real.
They had this phrase in China about drinking with your best buds, and translated, it is the bottom of the cup is never enough, meaning like
That's so good.
it's so good.
That's so good. That's how we talk in Farsi.
The
Oh, really?
bottom
Yeah,
of
that's
the-
a very poetic.
That's exactly
Yeah.
how
The
everything
bottom
in
of the cup
Farsi.
is never
That's
enough.
how our entire language
Yes,
works.
that is entirely Persian.
You never speak like literally. You always say things in like
in an esoteric way that's very
yeah,
poetic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I agree.
Oh, I love that phrase. The bottom of the cup is never
well, it
enough.
sounds like
The
Eric's
phrase is
first, so
weird.
he's
I don't
gonna
like it.
he's
I'm
gonna
gonna
lead the
tattoo
charge.
that shit.
Don't tattoo that.
All right. Well, if this conversation sounded unsatisfactory to you, it's
She's gonna be
also
like, what's at the bottom of the cup, bro?
it's also unsatisfactory to us because we can't land on a solution. So, want to hear more from the chat? Would love to hear it more in the Discord. Marty says the Shah has spoken. Kyle says Asheville is dope for sure. Vibes Asheville equals the Boulder of the East Coast.
Interesting.
I heard
got
Asheville's
some-
pretty cool.
Oh,
actually.
Kyle is in Huntsville. Nice to see the shout out.
Yeah, I have heard very good things. Hopefully, he's not from Bamberg.
Greenville, North Carolina, also thrown out there. All right, these are noted. These are noted.
I think Emma's outside of Asheville.
Yeah, a lot of love for North Carolina.
Well, good job making this. A
Let's
shorter episode,
let's
guys.
definitely please. I mean, look, I'll say this: if anyone in the Alfalfa community can help us find the place based on the boxes that we laid out today, and is a real contender,
Doesn't sound like
and
you're open-minded enough.
no, I am, but like the bar has to be high.
Doesn't feel
Three most
open-minded.
important decisions in life, Nick:
Okay.
Weather.
Who you
who you marry,
who you marry,
what you do for work,
where you
where
live.
you live.
Yeah.
So I'm not fucking around. I'm living in the best city that I possibly can, and
Married
until
married the best
I-
woman.
yeah, until I
Woman.
can have something in front of me that's better, I'm not going to do that. So, but I am open. Please tell me where that would be.
I'm gonna do a Mad Men style pitch with a PowerPoint, or I guess they didn't have PowerPoints; they had the slideshows.
Click.
Yeah. May I introduce Asheville, North Carolina?
Decisions are so important. The thing about where you live, I know you want to close.
I do
In
wanna
closing, in closing, so many people probably listen to this and live in a place that they don't like. Stop that fixed mindset. Like, you can move. There is nothing stopping you from going. Like, it's all just a fixed mindset about the possibilities of who you are and the job you can get and the amount you can afford. Like, so many people stop themselves from moving to a city like, I've always wanted to live in LA or San Francisco or Granada, Spain, but, and there's a but. Please don't let that stop you. Like, please, life is too short. Live in the place you want to live.
Yeah.
Live in the place you really want to live, because this is it. As far as we know, one shot, man. Enjoy the journey. Like, live where you want to live. Enjoy. It is the most important thing. Again, what you do for work. You spend 8 to 10 hours a day doing this and thinking about this. You do this more than any other hobby in your life. It's the most important decision you can make. Please do something you enjoy in life. Like, please live somewhere you like, do something you enjoy, marry or don't marry somebody, but be with somebody that you truly admire and love and makes your life better. Like, please, life is too short.
God damn it! I'm calling the moving company. That's inspiring. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us today. Join us again next week, Wednesday, live on YouTube at 5 p.m. PST. All the links are at alfalfapod.com. If you haven't liked the video already, please give it a like. It helps us out a lot. And subscribe if you haven't already. Otherwise, we love you guys so much. Thanks for joining in. We'll see you next week.
See you.
Bye bye.